And you know you want flavor and value. So, it's Bojangles Sandwich Combo time.
They say consistency is the key to success. They weren't wrong. So how about grabbing a beer that's consistently smooth, consistently refreshing, and consistently light? You might just find that the road to success can be pretty enjoyable. Michelob Ultra, the perfect balance of taste and refreshment, and only 2.6 carbs and 95 calories. It's only worth it if you enjoy it. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch Michelob Ultra Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Tim Donnelly here for Zero Res. Get 3 rooms Zero Resified. That's carpets clean as they could possibly be, starting at just $109, and get a free hallway done on top of that. Just call now at ZeroResRaleigh.com or 919-995-0000.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, did you know there's a generic form of Viagra that works just the same, but is 95% cheaper? And you can get it online? Go to hims.com/joy. Through Hims, you'll get a free medical consultation, discreet shipping if prescribed, and the process is 100% online. To start your free online visit, go to hims.com/joy. That's HIMS.com/JOY.
This hour of buzzer-beating, nail-biting, edge-of-your-seat sports action on 99.9 The Fan is powered by
Ritchie Law Firm Injury Lawyers.
Visit GotBryan.com.
That's GotBryan.com.
WCMC HD1 Holly Springs. Take us with you on radio, web, app, Alexa, and YouTube. 99.9 The Fan, the Triangle Sports leader.
I'm WRAL meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner. Brutally hot again this afternoon, looking at a high of 100 degrees. We have a heat advisory. It's going to feel like 110. But from here, we start to see temperatures dropping slowly. After a few isolated showers and thunderstorms this afternoon, we drop to 78 tonight, and we'll see a high of 97 tomorrow. But Thursday, a front comes in. That's going to bring us more rain and highs in the 80s starting Friday into the weekend.
Weather update brought to you by Newcomb & Company, where your comfort is their business. Visit newcombandcompany.com. 3 o'clock check of your money. Dow Jones is up 729 points to 40,941.
O'Connell with 1 second, left wing 3 on the way, banks it in! He got it! I don't believe it!
Jeremy Baxell has Roberts on him into the paint, rises up, big time!
Young throws, he's got Tommy, near side 2-1, touchdown Carolina.
To Ryan, catch and shoot 3, right wing, he did it again! Ryan has 27! Anderson makes a save, and it's kept out by Martin! What a save! Martin just robbed Liquid!
The Drive with Tim Donnelly on 99.9 The Fan.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly here on 99.9 The Fan on a Tuesday. I'm Tim Donnelly, Dennis Cox producing the show. I am going to have way too much fun with this first segment. I hope many of you will laugh and giggle along with me. The Big Ten and the SEC, according to Brett McMurphy in Action Sports, don't want Florida State. Thanks, but no thanks. Florida State wants out of the ACC so bad that maybe they forgot that they needed somewhere to go. Like, do you know what Florida State is turning into? They're turning into the 10-year-old that runs away from home. You get the stick, you get the little the blanket, you put one toy inside, you tie it up, and you're like, I'm never coming back. And you go walking down the road before you recognize, kind of hungry.
Yeah.
You know what?
For dinner?
You know what? I had it pretty good. A little tired. I'd like to watch some TV. You know what? I'm going to go back home. Because you don't have anywhere to go. Here's the reporting done by Brett McMurphy of Action Network. Florida State will likely not have a spot in the Big Ten or SEC if it's successful in leaving the ACC and the ACC stays intact, sources told Action Network. Also, the reporting says that if Florida State were able to exit the ACC, their number 1 and number 2 choices would be the Big Ten and the SEC. So Florida State wants them. They don't want Florida State. And it gets even juicier. A Big Ten source tells Action Sports, look what they did, getting the Attorney General involved, accusing former ACC Commissioner John Swofford of rigging the television rights to help his son, filing a suit to expose ESPN's TV deals, something the other 3 power leagues are against, by the way. They're not a good partner. There's no congeniality. No one wants that. Another Big Ten source. There are too many negatives. They've proven to be a disruptive partner. Even if you got them in a similar discounted rate as the Oregon and Washington deal, do you trust them as a partner? This is too rich. From an ACC perspective, and we're here in ACC country in the Triangle, right? State, Carolina, Duke, these are some of the pillars of the Atlantic Coast Conference. From an ACC perspective, I am exhausted with Florida State. I am exhausted to a lesser extent with Clemson trying to kind of, hey, we're going to let Florida State knock down the door, but we want to be next in line once they do it. And now to have the Big Ten and the SEC simply look over and go, you've kind of made the life of your conference a living heck for the last however many years, and we don't need you. We don't need that. Do you know how much value Florida State brings to the SEC? Not enough to warrant slicing the pie another way for another member. They already have Florida. Right? They have that state. They know what's going on. The ACC, and this is the part Florida State doesn't want to hear, the ACC is the best spot for Florida State, and everybody else can see it. And Florida State's still acting that way. They're still throwing temper tantrums. They're still whining. They're still crying. They're still trying to be the squeaky wheel. And other conferences are going, wait a second, they're in the spot that's best for them, and they're whining and complaining. Why would we think it's going to be any better when they get here?
And you're not going to add anything to us, really.
It is unreal. The Big Ten, by the way, has this kind of like a swanky unwritten rule that you have to be an AAU research university to join the Big Ten, which is it's like an academic prestige honor club that you have to apply for and jump through certain hoops to get that kind of certification. Florida State doesn't have it.
Go figure.
If you're the Big Ten, that's an easy reason to go, oh, we don't want the whiny, complaining child. Why not? All right, we probably shouldn't tell them it's because they're whining. Because you're not in the AAU research club. Now stay out.
How do I get one of those?
It's too hard for you.
Yeah, basically. Nah, you don't want to know.
It's impossible.
Form you have to fill out.
Yeah. Paperwork. You're better off just staying in the ACC.
Yeah, just stay where you are, man. You're good.
It's so juicy that you can complain and whine, and we want out, and we're going to sue, and we're going to sue, and we're going to sue. And we're going to have Board of Trustees meetings where every quote that comes out of the Board of Trustees meeting is anti-ACC, even though the Atlantic Coast Conference is supporting you in a lot of ways and has entertained things like performance-based pay and has entertained things to make you more happy. Even with all of that, you're still ungrateful. And others are noticing, right? Florida State is the child that acts up in the grocery store. You know what I mean? When your parents are just like, I don't want everyone to see you acting this way.
You already have 3 boxes of cereal at home. You don't need this one.
Every kid, I've got a 3-year-old at home. Every kid throws tantrums, right? Every kid's going to have their meltdowns.
Oh.
Parents just would really ask you to not do it in public.
That's it.
Florida State can't help themselves. They're trying to do it in public. They're trying to throw their tantrums in public. They are whining and crying and slamming their fists and stomping on the floor of the cereal aisle. And the SEC and the Big Ten are looking going, yeah, maybe the Big 12, man. We got nothing for you. And that leads me to the news of yesterday, which was the Big 12 is now circling Florida State and Clemson. Do you know why? Because there's nowhere else to go.
Yeah. We have off-brand cereal for you. That's Big 12.
That's what it is.
You want your stuff in the bag?
Put the Fruit Loops back. You can get the the Fruity O's. Like,
yeah, exactly.
That's what's going on here. And put the Big Ten back, you can get the Big 12.
Honey toasted O's, that's what you're getting.
It's the Big 12 is trying to be opportunistic. I actually give the Big 12 credit now. It makes more sense. Because they're thinking, hey, if the Big Ten and the SEC don't want them and they've burnt enough bridges in the ACC that they're just get out by all accounts, by any means necessary, if they get out, they might need a place to land. We might as well be sitting there with arms wide open, like Creed. The other thing I thought that was interesting in this article, and this relates more to the ACC, is all of this we don't want them goes away if the ACC implodes, right? If there is some kind of, the way it says here, if the ACC, this comes from one of the sources in the Action Network article, Brett McMurphy, the reporter. If the ACC doesn't implode, Florida State could be in a dangerous spot. I don't know if they have a home. Unless there's a doomsday scenario and the ACC implodes, FSU is in a bad spot.
I don't see the doomsday scenario.
The only thing that makes me concerned is if you tell Florida State the only way the Big Ten or the SEC are interested is if the ACC implodes, guess what becomes Florida State's mission number one?
Destroy the ACC.
From the inside, right?
Mm-hmm.
They're gonna
infiltrate.
They're going to try to get other teams involved. I believe the doomsday scenario is 8 teams. I think they need 8 to decide they want out in order to trigger kind of the end of times clause for the ACC. If you start saying the only way the SEC or the Big Ten want Florida State is if there's that scenario, they're going to channel all their attention towards recruiting.
But those 8 or whatever schools also need to be secure knowing that they have a landing spot too. Like, hey, we're not just going to blow this thing up just for the sake of doing it if we don't have a place to land.
And that's where Florida State has to get mighty persuasive.
Exactly.
The Big 12 is better for you. We're going to the SEC, but the Big 12 is better for you than the ACC is kind of what they have to do. Because the Big 12 will be open for especially the top half of the ACC.
Mm-hmm.
They're not going to turn down top 2/3 of the ACC.
By the way, I have some Florida State sound here for you.
Let's hear it. Yeah, it's on brand.
Yeah.
It's on brand. And by the way, I'm not talking about the athletes, right? We're going to be at ACC kickoff next week.
This is not an indictment of them or the coaches.
They're trying to do their best to win. This is happening in boardrooms rather than locker rooms. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. We are going to take a break, but when we come back, 99 questions about the college football season. We're continuing that series with an Amazon Prime question. If you had overnight delivery, what are you hooking your teams up with? Stick around.
Evan, Canty, and Michelle are unsportsmanlike.
On a day after skis. Did I do it right, Smalls? I'm trying to do it. No, I'm trying to do it right. You got to do it.
It wasn't that bad.
Thank you.
It wasn't that bad.
Skis. Come on, Smalls.
You didn't have to do it twice, though.
Okay.
You did it once. I let you get away with it. I said it was okay. You tried to do it twice. Moderation, Evan.
Skis.
Mornings from 6 to 9 on 99.9 The Fan, the Triangle Sports Leader.
If you're a veteran, listen up. Did you know that you can access up to 100% of your home's equity right now? Hey, it's Dennis Cox for Loan Pronto. You can do it with Loan Pronto's VA Equity Advantage program. You can get 30, 50, 100 grand or more and use that money to pay off all those credit cards and personal loans, car loans, or maybe use the cash to do that home improvement project. Veterans love working with Loan Pronto because they make it easy. No junk fees, no hassle. They can unlock that cash in your home's equity in a matter of weeks. Don't keep paying insane rates on credit cards. There's a smarter alternative with Loan Pronto. Get more info and start the process now at loanpronto.com. Or if your current VA loan rate is over 6.5%, Loan Pronto can get you in a streamlined refinance with a lower rate right now with no income verification and no appraisal. Lower your monthly payment big time. Loan Pronto makes it so easy for veterans. Call now, 919-381-1760, 919-381-1760, 919-381-1760. Equal housing lender, NMLS 1661781, subject to lender approval, NMLSconsumeraccess.org.
Bobby Joe absolutely hated her job.
Can't hate that job any more than I do.
So, time for one of those fancy tech schools?
No, I could never afford that. I'm going to Sharky's.
Sharky's?
Yeah, no better place to relax. Great food, cold beer, good whiskey, darts, billiards.
So now you love your job?
No, I still hate my job, but I loves me some Sharky's. I highly recommend it.
Yeah, everybody loves Sharky's. Sharky's Place, one of the best neighborhood bars in the world. 5800 800 Durley Road by the Shell Station.
You're not going to want to miss this. Diamonds Direct summer sale starts this weekend. For 3 days only, this Friday through Sunday, get 20% off rings, earrings, pendants, bracelets, and more. Plus, book an appointment and get an additional $100 off. And designers are flying in from New York and LA to showcase their latest trends. That's 20% off, plus $100 off with an appointment and designer trunk shows. Tons of engagement rings on sale too. 20% off starts Friday. Details at diamondsdirect.com. 3 days only and Sunday.
What are you doing? Eating caviar. Yuck. Get this. Supreme 7 scratch-offs from the North Carolina Education Lottery have the best odds to win $400 with a $4 million top prize. So I'm learning to enjoy rich people stuff.
Okay, let me try. Gross. What's next?
Ballroom dancing.
I'll lead.
New Supreme 7s, a shot at supreme riches. Must be 18 to play. Approximate overall odds of winning are 1 in 4.18. Problem gambling helpline 877-718-5543.
Get ready for an amazing deal at Wilkinson Chevrolet Cadillac Buick GMC in Sanford. For a limited time only, lease the 2024 Buick Encore GX with a jaw-dropping payment of $283 for 36 months with the option to purchase at the end of the lease period. Buick, exceptional by design. Swing by Wilkinson Chevrolet Cadillac Buick GMC in Sanford, one of the only dealerships with the best of Chevy, Cadillac, Buick, and GMC under one roof. Visit us today or online at wilkinsoncars.com.
We all know what UV rays can do to our skin, but they can also do damage to your car. Keep that from happening with 303 Protectant. 303 Protectant keeps the sun's harmful rays from causing fading and cracking in rubber, plastic, or vinyl surfaces. From the dashboard to the tires, 303 Protectant keeps your car looking new longer. Get 303 Protectant today at O'Reilly Auto Parts. Visit 303radio.com for more information.
If Heineken Silver was a 60-second radio ad, it'd tell you all the stuff you need to know in only 30 seconds to keep things light and refreshing. Seriously, time me. Heineken Silver, a world-class light beer that's surprisingly crisp and refreshing, made with only premium quality ingredients and just 2.9 grams of carbs and 95 calories, all without compromising on taste. Heineken Silver, all the taste, no bitter endings. Order now at Heineken.com/silver. Must be 21 and older to purchase. Enjoy Heineken responsibly. Whew, 30 seconds, that's it. Done. Peace.
You my little boo thing, so I'll give a hoot what you do. Say, girl, I know you a little too.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. 99 questions about the college football season. We've been asking one per show since there was 99 days until opening kick, and we're going to continue right up until opening kick. Today's question is inspired by the fact that I think today and tomorrow are Amazon Prime days.
Yeah, they are. I've already shopped.
Dennis, bargain shopper Dennis Cox in there.
Hey, you know what? Just saying.
Finding the deals.
Hey, I've found a few.
Can't pass up a deal. So we thought today would be a fun time to ask, what would you Amazon Prime each fan base for the 3 college football programs in the Triangle? What are you ordering, right? Overnight delivery. You get it like 57% off or whatever the deals are. You get all excited about the savings.
You still may have to wait 2 days, but the deal's the deal.
The deal is the deal. So what are you ordering? Which team should we start with?
Let's go with Carolina.
By the way, we like go over these categories beforehand, but we do kind of leave them very vague.
Yes.
So I literally I tried to find stuff you could actually Amazon Prime.
Oh,
like
okay.
actual products. For UNC, I'm going to Amazon Prime them a bunch of fishing gear and a bunch of NASCAR gear.
Okay.
Because I think one of the ways they can really have an advantage going into the future of college sports is to get Michael Jordan on campus more.
Oh, okay.
And since he's sold his stake in the Hornets, it's been fishing tournaments, right? Like the
Big
Black
Rock?
the Big Rock, the White Marlin Open, like these big fishing tournaments. And it's been NASCAR. He still owns a NASCAR team with Denny Hamlin. So I'm thinking, if I don't know, you could find somewhere for him to fish. Maybe he'll be on campus more. And then, right, like if you look at Oregon, Oregon's got the by any means necessary call from Phil Knight, the owner of Nike.
Mm-hmm.
Like whatever money it takes, I want to see a national championship in football. I think maybe Michael Jordan should give a similar to the UNC, but you got to grease the wheels a little bit. You got to get him back on campus. You got to play to his hobbies. So I am Amazon priming like fishing poles, bait and tackle, and,
golf clubs,
and golf clubs.
He's a big golf guy, and cigars,
and golf clubs and cigars. Pretty much everything that you can't get branded by Jordan if it's involving one of his hobbies. Make it happen. As if he can't get that stuff on his own for free. Anyway, but my point is, I'm basically trying to Amazon Prime them a more, hey, can I have this relationship with Michael Jordan? What are you giving UNC?
Oh, I was going to give UNC a decision at starting quarterback. That's what I was going to give them.
A magic 8-ball.
Basically, that's kind of it. I was going to give him a decision at starting quarterback. Who's the guy going to be?
Connor Harrell, Max Johnson, or
Jacoby Criswell.
Yeah, throw them all in there. What team should we go to next?
Let's go with NC State.
NC State. I don't know if you're actually allowed to Amazon Prime this. So
okay, you Amazon Prime anything, I believe.
This is my my disclaimer if one is necessary. Bourbon and cigars.
Okay.
I like that as a brand.
This is Michael Jordan. That's still okay.
Could be. I actually would love to be in a bourbon and cigar, like sitting around a table with these two individuals. I think if it was Michael Jordan, Dave Doran.
Oh, yeah?
I think it's a good brand for NC State to have Dave Doran kind of be a little gruff, a little like, hey, when we win, I'm breaking out the bourbon and cigars, right? Like when you disrespect us, I'm going to call you out in the post-game interview. I'm going to call you POS. You know what I mean? Like I kind of like it as your brand to be a little bit, I don't want to say of the villain, but a little bit of like the old school, cool, you're not going to push me around, like Rat Pack, but from the South style thing where it's like the bourbon and cigars come out after big games and he hangs out in the parking lot after big wins. And like I like that for NC State. And so much of modern sports is building a brand, right? You need to be recognizable. You need to have people know who you are. I think that's one way Dave Doran and the NC State football team can continue to build their brand as, for lack of a better term, Salty Dave. So, yeah, I'm going to send him some bourbon and cigars for after a big win.
Okay.
What
I was going to prime him that 10th win. Which goes with the cigars and bourbon.
After the 10th win.
I was going to give him that 10th win because they've been knocking on the door so often during Dave Doran's tenure about getting to double-digit wins. Just that 10th win, whether it's in the bowl game or ACC championship, whatever it is, getting that 10th win.
I'm with it.
The State fans have been pining for it for a long time, and rightfully so.
They're going, we'll pay shipping. It doesn't have to be Prime days.
We'll wait 2 days.
They're like,
we'll even make it 3.
Yeah,
that's fine.
We'll do what we have to do. It doesn't have to be Prime days for that one. They'll pay the price.
Yeah.
That leaves
back order.
Definitely is that. It's been on back order for a while now. We thought we ordered that 10 years ago. Duke, that's the only one left.
Yep.
I'm Amazon priming Duke. A couple of knee braces to give to Daniel Jones.
Okay.
Just so you keep a primetime quarterback starter in the NFL, right? This is a big year for him. Can't afford to get hurt. He's been hurt a few times. I don't think necessarily everyone understands like the benefit of having just a long-term starter from your team in the NFL. I covered ODU at Old Dominion at a previous stop in my career, and Taylor Heineke was starting at the time, right? It was one of those, 17-game runs where everyone else was hurt and he was starting for Washington. And Heineke played at Old Dominion. And their athletic director used to just say all the time, every time he plays in the NFL, it is a 3-hour infomercial for ODU football, right? So when he went up against Tom Brady in a playoff game or when he won on Thursday Night Football, it was always, that was a 3.5, 4-hour infomercial for ODU football. Now think about how many 3.5, 4-hour infomercials NC State has gotten from Phillip Rivers and Mike Glennon and Jacoby Brissett
Russell Wilson,
Ryan Finley, depending on where you fall on the Russell Wilson debate, on the Russell Wilson. And Now UNC with Sam Howell had his last year, Drake May. Like, these are just moments where your team is mentioned with the massive audience of NFL football. Daniel Jones has been doing that for Duke, for better or worse. You want to keep him in that position. You want to keep him as one of 32 starting quarterbacks in the NFL. So I'm sending him some very, very sturdy knee braces to make sure you don't have a repeat of last year where he loses a ligament or two and then is in a lot of pain. What are you Amazon priming Duke?
Cooper Flag. Cooper Flag, because guess what?
See, I was doing all football. I'm mine on football.
But I'm sending Cooper Flag to Duke football. That's what I'm doing. I'm Amazon priming Cooper Flag to Duke football because you're consistently thought as a basketball school, and that's totally understandable and justified. But imagine if you had a big-time star that people in your sport cared about and what that would do for the notoriety of your program. So that's why I say Cooper Flag.
You need the – I'm trying to think of the best example. Like the rock star to make it seem as cool to be wearing a football hoodie around campus as a basketball hoodie.
Exactly. And I think if Duke had that would go a long, long way to helping the program. Maybe that turns into Malik Murphy. Maybe Malik Murphy becomes puts up gaudy
or
numbers.
Grayson Loftus. They're both going to ACC kickoff.
They both are. But one of those guys puts up college football 25 video game numbers during the course of the season, and then all of a sudden, wait a second, Duke's winning games. This guy's putting up unreal numbers, and they're beating good opponents, and all of a sudden, somebody's talked about for postseason awards. And all of a sudden, you start putting yourself on the map a little bit more.
I'm trying to think. It's like almost the reverse of Greg Oden on Ohio State's basketball team.
Yeah.
It's like they were a football program until Mike Conley and Greg Oden were there, and then it was like, actually, we're kind of a basketball school for the year because it just changed the vibes there. I get what you're saying. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. That's 99 questions about the college football season, and I guess a free ad to make sure you're getting those deals. Right now, I want to tell you about my friends. Speaking of deals, I want to tell you about my partners at Window Nation. They have a deal going on to make your house more energy efficient, which means save you money on your energy bill every month, and also just increase the value of your house. Buy 2 windows, get 2 free right now, plus pay nothing with no interest for 2 full years. You may hear similar offers elsewhere, but those are home improvement companies in a lot of ways, right? Here's why I trust Window Nation. They are window experts. I use this example all the time, but I've interacted with Window Nation. I've had them come into my house, give me the full free, no obligation consultation. They've evaluated my windows. They've shown the reasons why theirs are superior. But what I got was the vibe of a restaurant with a small menu. That's what I really like, right? When you walk into a restaurant and they're like, here are the 5 things we do better than everyone else. We're not giving you an encyclopedia and saying we can do sushi and we can do fried chicken and we can do casseroles and we can do duck. And it's like, well, you can do all of that really, really well? I get a little curious, right? I like somebody that is an expert at what they are an expert at, and they do a great job at what they do. That's Window Nation. They'll come in, they will evaluate your windows, they will install your windows with experienced installers, they will inspect your windows with experienced inspectors, and they will explain it to you in a way that is easy to understand, because the more of an expert you are on something, the more simply you can talk about it. I'm a big believer in that. And they'll do all of that with you buying 2 windows and getting 2 windows free. Plus, pay nothing with no interest for 2 full years. Can't get better than that. Go ahead and call them at 866-90-NATION. That's 866-90-NATION. Set up your free, no-obligation consultation today. You can do it at 866-90-NATION or visit them online at windownation.com. Can't be easier to remember, windownation.com. We're going to take a break. When we come back, we award the Fannies. Who are the winners? Which of the nominees is victorious in our awards? The Fannies. Stick around.
Hi, this is Renee Chu. The most trusted local news in the Triangle is now on the radio. WRL News Plus. Now get breaking news and severe weather reports on the radio 24 hours a day. Listen on the radio at 96.5 FM in Durham, 99.3 FM in Raleigh, and everywhere in the Triangle at 101.5 HD3.
Is your heating and air system ready for hot weather? Call Newcomb & Company today to schedule a routine maintenance and ensure your system is operating at peak performance. Become a Comfort Contract customer to receive priority service and a 15% discount on service calls and repairs for HVAC and plumbing work. Newcomb & Company has served the area as a Carrier Factory Authorized dealer for more than 3 generations. Turn to the experts today. Call 919-862-3000 or find us at newcombandcompany.com. Newcomb & Company and Carrier. Your comfort is our business.
This is Gordon Miller from Miller Lending and Cary. Date the rate, marry the house, a phrase often used by realtors to describe the difference between keeping your new forever home as opposed to your mortgage rate, which you'll only keep until something better comes along, kind of like speed dating. A recent study by the Wall Street Journal further supports this notion by finding the average life of a loan to be less than 4 years. Their suggestion? Find a no-fee loan, which is exactly what Miller Lending has been telling you since 1996. With no closing costs of any kind, you can simply close on today's rates and refinance each time something better comes along. So while builders promote buy-downs with over $10,000 in closing costs, or lenders advertise crazy low rates with even more, Miller Lending continues to be the leader in the no-cost mortgage. So before you throw away thousands of needless fees, pick up the phone and call your local neighborhood lender, Miller Lending and Cary, 919-447-3377, or simply apply online at millerlending.com. Miller Lending is an equal housing lender, NMLS number 250-2146.
Planning an engagement? Now's the time. It's Bailey's Fine Jewelry's spectacular engagement ring blowouts. 3 days only. Engagement rings, loose diamonds, and wedding band. Up to 60% off. You'll be blown away by the huge selection of diamond sizes and engagement ring styles near cost, at cost, even below cost. Bailey's engagement ring blowouts. July 25th through 27th in Raleigh, Cary, Rocky Mount, and Greenville. Learn more at BaileyBox.com.
See if you're a winner every night. Watch live lottery drawings on WRAL TV's 11 o'clock news. That's right, Carolina Pick 3, Carolina Pick 4, and Carolina Cash 5 numbers every night on WRAL TV's 11 o'clock news. See if you're a winner before you go off to bed. Get your lottery numbers live every night.
North Carolina Education Lottery.
Only on WRAL TV's 11 o'clock news.
Dauntless Transmissions has been the trusted transmission shop in Raleigh for more than 27 years. The experts at Dauntless Transmission are dauntless when it comes to caring for your vehicle. Whether that means a total transmission rebuild, complex engine or brake service, or just a routine tune-up, your vehicle will be dauntless when they're done with it. Visit DauntlessTransmissions.com. Dauntless Transmissions, your local source for exceptional service.
Dauntless is currently looking for skilled auto technicians to join the Dauntless team. Visit DauntlessTransmissions.com/careers to apply.
The best summer savings for golfers is now at Global Golf in Raleigh. This week only, save up to 60% on all tailor-made pre-owned golf clubs. Global Golf is home to Carolina's largest selection of pre-owned golf gear. Whether you need some new grips, professional lessons, or wanting to trade in your current clubs, swing by Global Golf at 7320 ACC Boulevard. Don't miss amazing summer sales and more at Global Golf, home to the best deals in golf.
I spray and scrub, but the soap scum in my bathtub is still there.
I spray and scrub, but the burnt sauce on my stovetop sticks around.
Sprays can leave grime behind, but new Mr. Clean Ultra Foamy Magic Eraser combines the scrubbing power of an eraser with the cleaning power of Dawn to melt away tough messes on contact.
Just wet, squeeze, and erase.
Stop spraying, start erasing, and clean with more magic than ever with new Ultra Foamy Magic Eraser.
Mr. Clean, Mr. Clean.
Picture this, the perfect summer barbecue. No stress, no responsibilities, just all your friends, burgers sizzling, hot dogs cooking, Pepsi Zero Sugar fizzing, and a backyard of very, very happy people. Oh yeah, we could get used to this. Very, very used to this. Grilling, better with Pepsi.
For a limited time, get 2 20-ounce Pepsis for only $4.25 at Refuel. So hurry in and enjoy an ice-cold Pepsi today.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Before we jump into our Fannies announcements, baseball's biggest stars take the field tonight in the MLB All-Star Game on 99.9 The Fan. Listen for every joke about Texas life and pitching changes, starting at 7, presented by Gatorade. from Arlington. That's where the Texas jokes come in. They're just not going to be just sending jokes Texas's way. But again, that's all starting at 7 right here on 99.9 The Fan, presented by Gatorade. Now let's award some Fannies, shall we? Fannies. I feel like I have to explain this. It's not like Fanny Pack. It's like the ESPN awards the ESPYs, so 99.9 The Fan awards the Fannies. Mm-hmm. We had 10 categories. We announced the nominees last week. We will refresh you as they go along. Dennis, do you want to do the nominees or the winners?
I'll do the nominees.
All right.
Let you announce the winners.
I'll do the winners.
So again, by the way, for those wondering what's the timeline for these awards, we're looking at July 1st of 2023 through June 30th of 2024. That's the timeline that we're working with, because that basically encompasses the sports calendar, if that makes sense. So the categories were Best Team, Best Male Athlete, Best Female Athlete, Coach of the Year, Rivalry of the Year, Game of the Year, Best Single Game Performance, Play of the Year, Breakout Athlete, and Biggest Story of the Year.
There you go.
Let's actually start with Biggest Story of the Year. The biggest stories that we had nominations were the firings and hirings of the Carolina Panthers, including head coach and general manager, the NC State men's and women's basketball team making runs to the Final Four, the Carolina Hurricanes go all in at the trade deadline, and Tez Walker versus the NCAA.
Now, I said this yesterday. Thought this was one of the more difficult ones to decide because they're so different. But we did come to an agreement, and we have a winner. And the winner is the NC State Final Four runs. Just the intensity and the fervor with which they took place over that month plus, it was unreal. And the weavings, the ins, the outs, the ups, the downs, the moments when it felt like it might not be advancing, only to have victory snatched from the jaws of defeat so many times, to have both the men and women making the runs, to have the rivalry elements, right, beating Duke and Carolina in the ACC championship, or tournament, I should say, the ACC tournament, and then beating Duke again in the Elite Eight. It just was, I think the best way to measure it is to think of like where the Kevin Keats confidence meter was going into the ACC tournament.
Yeah.
And then know that it ended with like a boatload of money being added to his contract and automatic extensions and the ice cream thing. They captured the entire country.
They're the darlings of the tournament.
To the point where like now DJ Burns is playing in the Cavs Summer League, and his highlights are still going viral because the rest of the country's like, it just reminds you of a cool time where he was, in the middle of this firestorm of an NCAA tournament run.
Remember when. All right, let's go to our breakout athlete. Our breakout athlete. Again, this is college and pro sports here in the state of North Carolina. Our nominations were Casey Concepcion, NC State football; Seth Jarvis, Carolina Hurricanes; DJ Horn, NC State basketball; and Brandon Miller, Charlotte Hornets.
All good nominees. I'm happy to see the Hornets in the mix.
Hey, Brandon Miller, third in Rookie of the Year voting in the entire NBA. Nothing to sneeze at.
Not the winner, though.
Not the winner.
Should we eliminate them one at a time?
Wow, you can do that?
No. Breakout athlete goes to Casey Concepcion, NC State football. Maybe the best freshman wide receiver in the country.
Up there.
At times, like, you'd go into a big NC State football game, and it was either Casey Concepcion's going to have 140 yards and 2 touchdowns, or they're going to lose this game. And still, somehow he found a way to make big play after big play. I'm excited to see how he develops this year. With all of the turmoil at quarterback, whether it was Brennan Armstrong earlier, him bowing out for MJ Morris choosing to bow out himself, Brennan Armstrong coming back in. One of the few, Jordan Houston, their running back, deciding he wanted to sit out after 4 games and transfer. Like, the one constant was big plays from Casey Concepcion. And even guys like Dylan McMahon were in and out of lineup with injuries, who's up front. Like, it was Casey Concepcion is the steady Eddie, which is ironic to call him steady Eddie when he's unbelievably explosive. But he's the breakout, and now that you'd think the entire NC State offense is going to be kind of built around him next year.
All right, let's go to the best single game performance. Let's go to that one. Best single game performance nominees were R.J. Davis, 42 points versus Miami during the men's basketball season. Cormac Ryan, 31 points at Duke and Cameron Indoor, 6 of 8 from three-point land in that win in Cameron Indoor Stadium to close out the regular season. Pyotr Kochekov, 45-save shutout versus the Florida Panthers. And Casey Concepcion versus North Carolina, 7 catches, 131 yards, 2 touchdowns, plus 11 carries for 55 yards.
There's no wrong answer here, but there is a right answer.
Yeah.
Cormac Ryan in Cameron Indoor, 31 points at Duke. You brought it up, 6 of 8 from 3.
Mm-hmm.
I'm surprised he missed 2, if we're being honest. My memory was he made every shot that he took.
Dude didn't miss.
And did it with swagger, and it was big shots, and the rivalry, and the vibe that stereotypically he should be Duke, but he's actually playing against Duke, and was earning his Tar Heel stripes in real time. It was a moment. It's one of the moments that I'm not going to be able to forget from the college basketball season. And the cool part was going over 30 against Duke and Cameron. Like, that's now going to be a reference point, right? Hubert Davis, who's the coach of UNC, did that, whatever it was, 30 years ago. And it was still brought up during Cormac Ryan's. Like, it's going to be 30 years from now, and someone's going to have a big game against Duke. And we're going to be sitting there going, remember when Cormac Ryan did that way back in 2024, I think it was? No, wait, hold on. What music was playing? Like, that's what we're going to be doing. Was it 2020? No, that was COVID. There were fans. I remember the fans because he was talking to them. From a single game performance perspective, especially with the other players on that roster, like the fact that it wasn't fellow nominee R.J. Davis or Armando Bacot having that monster game, it was Cormac Ryan, adds to the lore. So Cormac Ryan gets the nod.
All right, speaking of memorable moments, let's go to Play of the Year. So Play of the Year, we have Peyton Wilson, NC State linebacker, running down a wide receiver against Notre Dame. Drake May, quarterback for UNC, left-handed touchdown pass against Pitt. He's right-handed. Michael O'Connell, buzzer beater.
How funny would that be? We're like Tua Tagovailoa, left-handed touchdown pass.
What?
He's a lefty.
Yeah, Michael O'Connell, buzzer beater against Virginia in the ACC tournament to force overtime. And the Jordan Martinook save on the goal line for the Carolina Hurricanes in Game 6 versus the New York Rangers of the Stanley Cup playoffs in the Eastern Conference semifinals.
No surprise with this one. Michael O'Connell, buzzer beater against Virginia. It's ACC tournament. It is literally not quite. It's a logo 3 off balance, banked and rattled in, that if it doesn't go, like the amount of sliding doors that change, like the future changes if that shot doesn't go in, is unreal. Who knows what's going on with everybody's future at NC State. They definitely don't become the darlings that they are. They bow out in the whatever that was, semifinal or earlier, right? Quarterfinal?
Semifinals?
Of the ACC tournament. But instead it goes in, and it forces overtime. And he gives a little flex for everybody. And they end up continuing on. There's a few different moments on that run where it's like, I don't think people realize how down to their last life they were. And because part of the magic of that run is, and this happens occasionally, where it felt like the shot was going to go in. It was just like, no, they're charmed right now. It's going to go in. I don't think you realize how unlikely that shot actually was. I know it felt like it was going in, but
27 feet away, whatever it was,
leaning off balance, no time, buzzer beater against a very good defensive team with very good defensive players. Reese Beekman, like it's just a really, really tough spot to be, and O'Connell nailed it. And again, like I said with Cormac Ryan, if it were DJ Horn, right? If it were DJ Burns making a game winner, Michael O'Connell was more of a distributor. He wasn't really the lights out scorer. Yet he's the one that has the ball in his hands in that moment, and he converts. Play of the year. But I mean, again, that's another category where, like, if you put together a highlight film of just those 4 plays on repeat, that's one of those YouTube clips I'd give 7 minutes of my life. With, some early 2000s pop song is the the background music as you just show those plays over and over again.
All right, let's get to the rivalry of the year.
Let's do it.
Rivalry of the year. We have the Carolina Hurricanes versus the New York Rangers competing for not only the top of the Metro, but the President's Trophy in the NHL and competed in the playoffs. David Tepper versus, all fans. UNC versus NC State football. And Duke versus NC State men's basketball. Rivalry of the year.
I do love the David Tepper versus all fans because it's Panthers fans and it's Jacksonville fans and it's...
If your mascot's a cat, he's coming after
and
you.
It's Courage or Charlotte FC fan.
Mm-hmm.
But the winner of the Fanny is Rangers versus Canes. It was a regular season rivalry for the top of the division. It was a regular season rivalry at times for the President's Trophy. It was a postseason rivalry, 3-0. It was, for lack of a better term and maybe a little exaggeration, Trouba trying to take the head off of Martin Necas.
Yeah.
It was so much. It was the two games fighting back by the Canes. It was the pit in your stomach at the end of Game 6. It was not letting them finish it at home. It was so much going on in that series. Rangers versus Canes, it was, brutal looking back on it, but fierce as it was happening.
All those games were awesome.
Yeah.
They were just great games.
And it was a great regular season battle.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you get 2 points, we want 2 points, all that kind of stuff.
Speaking of games, let's go to Game of the Year.
Another tough one.
Another tough one. UNC versus App State football, double OT. UNC wins that one for 40-34. We have NC State versus Oakland in overtime of the NCAA tournament's second round. UNC Wilmington upsetting Kentucky. UNC Wilmington basketball upsetting Kentucky in Rupp Arena out there in Lexington. And then we also had the U.S. Open, the final round. Bryson DeChambeau versus Rory McIlroy, final round U.S. Open down in Pinehurst.
I'll go through our. It came down to UNC versus App and NC State versus Oakland. UNC App football and NC State versus Oakland. I think we got to go NC State versus Oakland. Overtime, NCAA tournament versus a regular season game, especially early in the season. The stakes felt higher, and then there was Jack Golke. It was kind of Destiny team against Destiny team, with Oakland being one of the stories of the first round also. I think we got to go NC State versus Oakland overtime. But this one is like, I'm wondering, and by the way, like, I'm not half-stepping. They are the winner. Congratulations, you won the Fanny. But you know how, like, there's like Oscars years where 20 years in the future you look back and you're like, how in the world did that movie beat Shawshank or something like that? It's like, because one just has better legs. I want to revisit this category like 5 years from now and see if we remember them the same way. But for right now, it's NC State versus Oakland, overtime, men's basketball, second round NCAA tournament.
Okay, let's go to our coach of the year. We have Wes Moore, NC State women's basketball coach. Aaron Madsen, UNC field hockey coach. UNC field hockey winning a national championship this year. Lori Haynes, NC State women's cross country coach, won their third national championship in the last 3 years. Also the head coach of the Carolina Hurricanes, Rod Brindamore.
Aaron Madsen has a legitimate gripe with this one because she's been a coach for like 20 minutes and already has a national championship.
She does.
But I think that UNC field hockey program is cranking, right?
Buzzsaw?
It kind of is. So for like the more impressive coaching job, thus coach of the year, I'm going Wes Moore, NC State women's basketball. I mean, and by the way, sustainable. Rivers coming back. Who's it? James coming back. Brooks coming back. They have a nice little group there. But this year I think they went above and beyond, and thus coach of the year goes to Wes Moore, NC State.
A lot of great nominees in that one, for sure. Let's go to our female athlete of the year. You have Deja Kelly, UNC women's basketball. Abby Lampe, our cheese rolling champion. Caitlin Toohey, NC State women's cross country. And Riley Heck, UNC field hockey.
First of all, I just love the diversity of the lineup here.
Yeah.
We have everything from a cheese rolling, which we need to work on the name of that. It's cheese catching, cheese chasing. The cheese, she's not the one rolling the cheese.
Yeah.
She's chasing the rolling cheese. So we'll have to have a word
Like
with
the Cooper
power.
Hills cheese rolling championship.
Yes, she is the winner. But she is not the winner of this category.
Oh, okay.
That goes to Riley Heck, North Carolina field hockey. What put it over the top for me is the game winner in the Natty. Like, if you're going to be a first-team All-American, you're going to be in the running, right? Especially first-team All-American for a national champion, you're going to be in the running. But if you throw in the clutch, you throw in the game winner in the national championship game, that's going to put you over the top in a lot of different ways. Another fierce category, but Riley Heck, UNC field hockey ends up with the Fanny.
All right, next one. We have
Sounds so weird to say that. She ends up with the Fanny. It's an award. It's an award. We're not being weird.
It's an award. All right, Male Athlete of the Year. We have Peyton Wilson, NC State football, won the award for nation's best defensive player in all of college football. R.J. Davis, UNC men's basketball, ACC Player of the Year, also the award winner for the best shooting guard in the entire country. Sebastian Aho, Carolina Hurricanes, all-star season. And Derek Brown's taking an NFL record for most tackles by a defensive lineman, interior defensive lineman in NFL history. So again, nominations for Male Athlete of the Year: Peyton Wilson, NC State football; R.J. Davis, UNC basketball; Sebastian Aho, Carolina Hurricanes; and Derek Brown, Carolina Panthers.
Another loaded category.
Stacked.
I'm as big of a Sebastian Aho fan as you'll find, but I can't do it. Derek Brown got paid off of his performance.
Yeah, he did.
But I can't do it. R.J. Davis was the best shooting guard in the country. But I can't do it.
Best player in the best conference.
True. I like how you snuck that in there. A little ACC's the best conference. I like that. I'm with you. Peyton Wilson, NC State football is the winner. He's the best defensive player in the country in college football. I mean, we're splitting hairs here, but R.J. Davis being the best at his position, like Peyton Wilson is also that. He's just also the best at every other defensive position. So it is an aggressive, difficult decision to make. We agonized over this one. But Peyton Wilson, NC State football, to me, the season he put together as a whole, it's pretty difficult to pick and nitpick and try to find the flaws.
If you would have told me R.J. Davis, I'd been like, okay. I would not have disagreed either way. Literally could have just flipped the coin on that one. All right, final category, best team.
By the way, we don't believe in co-winners.
We do not. Either you win or you lost.
Make the hard decision.
Exactly.
Pick the one, put up with the hate you might get.
Best team, our nominees: NC State men's basketball, NC State women's cross country, having won just another national championship, UNC field hockey, and UNC baseball, winning the ACC championship regular season and the best conference in college baseball, and making it all the way to the College World Series.
Well, there's something that happened there. You had to explain why UNC baseball should be in there. So, no.
Okay.
NC State men's basketball, as awesome as their run was, they're up against two national champions, and they were just the semifinalists. So we're looking at the national champions. This is how stacked these two finals are. NC State women's cross country is what, 3 straight national championships?
3 straight natties.
UNC field hockey, 5 out of 6?
5 out of 6, remember correctly, yes. With a coaching change in there, too.
With a coaching change. I mean, that is, we're splitting hairs again. I'm going UNC field hockey. UNC field hockey, you win the Fanny. To me, in a team sport like that is, you know, there is an element of women's cross country and cross country in general being like a handful of individual sports combined. So it's maybe a little bit more under your control, right? Just each girl, each woman run your best race. But when it comes to field hockey, it's the communication. It's there's a team trying to stop you. It's maybe just a little bit better of a incubator to breed a best team champion. And then you're right, the coaching change. To not lose a beat after making the coaching change, particularly to such a young, fresh out of her playing career player/coach, kind of. As Aaron Madsen, I think UNC field hockey has to be it. They're an absolute Dynasty, and they are the winner of the Fannie for best team.
All right, so to recap our winners here for biggest story of the year, NC State Final Four runs in men's and women's basketball. Breakout athlete, Casey Concepcion, NC State football. The play of the year, the Mike O'Connell buzzer beater against Virginia in the ACC semifinals. Best single game performance, Cormac Ryan, 6 of 8 from 3, 31 points at Duke to close out the regular season for UNC men's basketball. Game of the year, NC State versus Oakland in overtime and second round of the NCAA tournament. Rivalry of the year, Carolina Hurricanes versus the New York Rangers. Coach of the year, Wes Moore, NC State women's basketball. Female athlete of the year, Riley Heck, UNC field hockey. Male athlete of the year, Peyton Wilson, NC State football. And best team, UNC field hockey.
The Fannies, ladies and gentlemen. The 2024 Fannies, same time, same place next year.
That's right.
We'll do it all over again.
By the way, this is our second annual Fannies.
Second annual Fannies. And if you have any gripes, Dennis's Twitter account is The Fan Rookie.
That's right, it is.
Or you can send them my way if you really want to, at Donnelly Sports. But I think we did a good job. By the way, difficult decisions are going to have smart people on both sides. I want that to be clear. Can't make everybody happy. We did our best to pick the right answers rather than the favorite answers, if that makes any sense. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. We're going to take a break. When we come back, football at 4. We look towards the future of the Panthers based on some news around the NFL. Stick around.
Move your sports day forward.
Players get gaslit in arbitration. You relive every turnover, every lost battle in the corner, every missed shot, because this is about getting paid. But it's also, on the team's end, about getting under the cap.
Get set up. Join Next Up with Paul Ihander. Mornings at 9 on 99.9 The Fan, the Triangle Sports Leader.
It's the first day of the first grade, and she found a new best friend. It's a laid-back Sunday afternoon you wish would never end. The homemade taste of Bluebell and good friends gathered round. The good old days are being made right now.
The new Bluebell Cookies and Cream Cheesecake is cheesecake ice cream with chocolate cookie-crusted cheesecake pieces and chocolate cream-filled cookies. Again, cheesecake ice cream with chocolate cookie-crusted cheesecake pieces and chocolate cream-filled cookies. Buy two.
The good old days are being made right now. The good old days are being made right now.
Look for Bluebell ice cream at Walmart Supercenters and Walmart Neighborhood Markets.
Doesn't the North Carolina Education Lottery Winners Club give the best massages?
I've never felt so relaxed.
Thanks to this month's scratch-offs, this is our life now.
It's like winning again and again and again.
New $80 million cash blowout and triple red sevens mean new winners. The Winners Club awaits. Must be 18 to play. Approximate overall odds winning range from 4.28 to 9.95. Problem gambling helpline 877-718-5543.
Where'd y'all go last week?
Well, we've been watching our budget.
So no going out?
Oh yeah, we're going out, just hitting all the specials. First, we hit the House of Hops. That's Jerome's favorite spot. Big savings on Monday and Wednesdays. Mix and match craft beer and 25% off on to-go growlers. Oh, it's a great place to relax.
You know, the Mix has some good specials and they're across the street.
You have to check out their wine tastings once a month and their live music schedule, plus $5 draft beer on Thursdays. Then Saturday, it's Salt and Lime Brunch, and Monday they have $5 margaritas.
Wait, what about Sharky's?
Oh, sweetie, you know Sharky's is special all the time.
So you're just going in a circle. House of Hops, Salt and Lime, the Mix, then Sharky's. House of Hops, Salt and Lime, the Mix, then Sharky's. Sounds like a vicious cycle.
Well, I wouldn't say it's a vicious cycle. More like a wonderful cycle.
Yeah, sounds like a cycle I need to be riding.
House of Hops, the Mix, Salt and Lime, and Sharky's. Definitely a cycle you should be riding. Hope to see you soon.
That'll be 30 even.
That's 90 points!
Sorry, that was a lot.
Now that I'm getting 3 times the points on food and fuel with the Navy Federal More Rewards American Express card, I get a little too hyped sometimes.
Cool. Would you like your receipt?
In the bag! Sorry. In the bag, please.
Learn more about the everyday, everywhere Navy Federal More Rewards American Express card at NavyFederal.org. Navy Federal Credit Union. Our members are the mission. Navy Federal is insured by NCUA.
Organize easy. Organize tough. Customize your work truck or van with upfit solutions from Van Products. Steel and aluminum shelving, toolboxes, data files, cabinets, drawers, conduit carriers, ladder racks, everything safe and secure. Everything built as unbreakable as you by Adrian Steel. Backed by the best warranty in the business. 3 years, 36,000 miles. Everything custom installed by Van Products so you know it's done right. From a single work rig to a fleet, choose custom installed upfit solutions from Van Products.
Theater Raleigh presents Bull Durham, a new musical playing Reynolds Industries Theater in Durham, September 10th through the 22nd. Based on the classic movie, follow Crash Davis and his Durham Bulls story in a new genre. Details and ticket info at theaterraleigh.com.
This hour of the Triangle Sports Leader is powered by Ritchie Law Firm Injury Lawyers.
He scores! What a comeback!
Visit GotBryan.com. That's GotBryan.com.
WCMC HD1 Holly Springs. Take us with you on radio, web, app, Alexa, and YouTube. 99.9 The Fan, the Triangle Sports Leader.
I'm WRAL meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner. Brutally hot again this afternoon, looking at a high of 100 degrees. We have a heat advisory. It's going to feel like 110. But from here, we start to see temperatures dropping slowly. After a few isolated showers and thunderstorms this afternoon, we drop to 78 tonight, and we'll see a high of 97 tomorrow. But Thursday, a front comes in. That's going to bring us more rain and highs in the 80s starting Friday into the weekend.
Weather update brought to you by Newcomb & Company, where your comfort is their business. Visit newcombandcompany.com. 4 o'clock check of your money. Dow Jones is up 757 points to 40,969. Market update brought to you by the Good Feet Store. Ready to step into a healthy and active lifestyle? Come to the Good Feet Store and experience the difference. Discover how a simple step can lead to a life of pain-free possibilities.
Let's move the chains. Time for football at 4.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Before we jump into football at 4, golf's final major will be found on 99.9 The Fan. Listen all week long as we bring you the Open Championship at Royal Troon. Coverage of the Open Championship on 99.9 The Fan is teed up by McConnell Golf with 16 top-ranked courses, the best private club value from the mountains to the coast. Now, talking Panthers' future. One thing that I think the fan base, and this is from observations, YouTube comments, Twitter comments, interactions, fan base of the Panthers need to recognize is this is a multi-year rebuild. Pay attention to situations that may not affect you right now, but into the future, because like the decisions being made this offseason are not perfect. We're done. Like it's not like you plant a seed and then you go, all right, all we got to do is water. Right? You might have to go plant some other seeds next offseason. You might have to change some things up.
Got to till that land.
It is not just a, hey, we've done all the work, now we wait. Right? It's not like you're putting something in the oven. The Bengals didn't reach a long-term deal with T. Higgins. I think that's best case scenario for the Panthers. Do you know why? Because the Panthers this offseason probably don't need a wide receiver. I know Brandon Auyuk just asked for a trade earlier today, and there's some Panthers fans that are going, right, salivating. But I'm looking around going, wait a second, you might have a steal in Deontay Johnson. You might have a stud in Xavier Legette. Right? If you knew Brandon Auyuk was coming in or if he was going to become available, maybe you don't make one of those moves, but you did, and you can't go back and change those. So I don't want to suffocate guys in the wide receiver room, especially for a team that is going to run the darn football. If we've heard anything from Dave Canales, it's they're running, they're like Bear Bryant, right? 3 yards in a cloud of dust Although I guess on turf it would be like 3 yards and a bunch of those little
rubber pellets.
Little rubber black pellets.
Gosh, those things get in your socks and your cleats, the worst.
Get in your mouth. That's what it's going to be like. So you don't need all of these wide receivers, but somebody like T. Higgins who's going to play this year on a tag, right? Someone like T. Higgins who is going to possibly have an opportunity to move next off season. Interesting, right? That's where I think the Panthers need to monitor. Pay attention. Make the decision over time if T. Higgins is someone you want to pursue. Because, listen, I love the Deontay Johnson trade. I am on the record. I've said it into this microphone on this program. You can catch it on our YouTube. You can go back and find it in real time. I love the Deontay Johnson trade.
Can confirm.
I don't think it's 100%. I don't think it's like there's no way that after this year you and Deontay Johnson aren't in love with each other. I think it's a well-calculated for almost nothing in the trade. It was a very well-thought-out chance to take.
Low risk, high reward.
But if you don't love the Deontay Johnson fit after this year, you invested almost nothing in him. Feel free to say, hey, we gave it a good go. Go see if you can get your big money elsewhere. We're going to spend our big money on some other wide receiver. Right? I love the Deontay Johnson trade. It seems like the Panthers love the Xavier Legette pick. I'm also on the record saying that wouldn't have been the guy I would have gotten at the end of the first round, but they seem absolutely in love with him. Right? You go back and watch some of their behind-the-scenes stuff, the Blueprint, their behind-the-scenes YouTube show. I mean, they were convinced. They were convicted in their beliefs of Xavier Legette. That doesn't mean they're 100% going to want him to be their number one wide receiver, by week 8 of this year. Maybe he's raw. Maybe the hamstring keeps acting up. Maybe he needs time to learn the nuance of the NFL. If he's better suited going into year 2 as a wide receiver 2 or a wide receiver 3, wouldn't be the first time a good wide receiver took a little while to find his footing. Go look at Devontae Adams' career arc. Not great the first couple, very great like year 3 through 10. Maybe that's what Xavier Legette does. So next offseason, someone like T. Higgins might be available. That's where the Panthers need to be understanding that this is a multi-year rebuild, right? This is not. There are certain teams where it's like, all right, we need to we need to retool. Right? Hey, we just need to change a couple things, and then we're all in, backpedal to the gas. That's not the Panthers.
That's the Chiefs.
It's the Chiefs, right? Bring in Hollywood Brown, bring in Xavier Worthy. All right, let's keep it rolling. That might be the most Lamborghini of the examples, right? They're a 2-time defending Super Bowl champion. But somebody like the Bills. The Bills are retooling, right? They moved on from their number one wide receiver. They're kind of shifting their offense, probably focus a little more on the tight end with Dalton Kincaid. But they're not expecting like, hey, maybe 2 or 3 years we can compete. They're expecting like, hey, we retooled. We need to win. The Panthers are not that. So don't become so in love with every player on the roster right now that you make them untouchable, right? I use the metaphor of buying jerseys, right? Like, hey, if you have a kid that is a big fan of the Panthers, whose jersey do you feel comfortable buying? No wide receivers. None of them. Everyone should be, I mean, Xavier Legette maybe, but there's a lot of first-round picks that never turn into jersey-worthy caliber wide receivers on their teams. Like everyone should be expendable if you love a player like T. Higgins next year. Everyone should be expendable if Brandon Auyuk becomes available next year, right? If he ends up somehow going back to the Niners and playing a petty game where he tries to play real well so they can't afford him next year. If things don't work out for the Panthers, fail fast, right? Like if the offense doesn't work with Deontay Johnson as a number one wide receiver, fail fast. Know that by week 7. So then, and by the way, I'm not saying be like too harsh, but right, when I say fail fast, it just means like in a rebuild, sometimes the best thing you can do is eliminate an option. Right? In a rebuild, sometimes the best thing you can do is go, well, thought that would work, not going to. I love what the Panthers did with the wide receiver room. I think they dramatically increased the talent, the separation, the ability of their wide receiver room from a season ago. I don't think it should be off the table that they have nearly a completely new wide receiver room next year if their chances don't pay off. Really, the only one who I think should have a guaranteed spot going into, like, not this season, but the one after, is Xavier Legette. If you moved on from Adam Thielen, he'd be like 35 years old, and he's already the oldest wide receiver in the NFL.
By like 2 years.
If you move on from Deontay Johnson, I mean, no harm, no foul. You traded nothing for him. You gave him some money on a 1-year finishing out of his contract, and then he goes in another direction. No harm, no foul. No, I'm seeing like we don't want Auyik or, T. Higgins, we don't want him. And I'm going like, you don't want him? How about you just say we don't want him right now? How about you say, let's keep our eye on him and the market and see if next year it can help? Because if it doesn't work out, you still need to get Bryce Young weapons. And if you look around, some of the best examples of wide receivers that unlocked the top-end production of a quarterback, a whole bunch of them got there in their third year. Right? If I'm not mistaken, A.J. Brown didn't get to play with Jalen Hurts until Jalen Hurts' third year in the league. Stephon Diggs didn't get to play with Josh Allen until Josh Allen's third year in the league. That's next year for Bryce Young. So this year, you're just trying to, play your chances correctly and get there early. T. Higgins not reaching a deal with Cincinnati makes him more likely available next offseason. Panthers should keep their eye on him. Right? Scouts, what are you doing on Tuesday? Sunday, you watch the Panthers game. Monday, you watch Panthers game again. Tuesday, let's throw on that T. Higgins. Let's see if this is someone we're going to want to pursue next year.
There are plenty of highlights out there.
Yeah, let's go find the T. Higgins for life YouTuber that just puts every target on YouTube and watch that. By the way, I made that up. Don't actually go search the team. There's no individual out there. There probably is, but that was a hypothetical, if you will.
But there are a lot of different ways that this offseason could go.
There's a lot of different ways this season
I guess next offseason, I guess you can say, could go in regards to wide receivers, because let's say Legette does turn into like a bona fide number one, which is awesome.
Then
then Deontay Johnson is solid. It's like you can spend less money maybe to keep Deontay Johnson as your number two, and you can use money in other places to, fix your defense.
And I would love it if they watched T. Higgins all year and said, oh, my gosh, he's a number one. I love him. And in the offseason, they go, you know what? I don't think we need him because we already have 2 number ones. Then that's better. That's better. But you can't tell me that's going to happen with any kind of certainty. You can't tell me that's going to happen with any kind of fact. So be prepared. My point is, if you find 4 studs in the rough, diamonds in the rough this year, whether it's Legette, it might not be in the rough, but if you find 4 guys you want to build around, that's a great year for the Panthers. That also means there's 15 guys that are expendable or potential upgrading situations. So be prepared for the next 2, 3, 4 years to see a lot of roster development. Don't fall in love with anybody, except unless Derek Brown, Bryce if he plays well, Robert Hunt because he's on a 5-year deal. That's about it. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Here's Dennis Cox.
Hey, Dennis Cox here for my friends over at Loan Pronto. All right, if you're a veteran, need you to listen up here right now because Loan Pronto has something out there for you. Did you know that you can access up to 100% of your home's equity right now? You can do it with Loan Pronto's VA Equity Advantage program. You can get 30, 50, 100 grand or more and use that money to pay off all those credit cards and personal loans, car loans, or maybe use the cash to do that home improvement project. Veterans love working with Loan Pronto because they make it easy. No junk fees, no hassle. They can unlock your cash within your home's equity in a matter of weeks. Don't keep paying insane rates on credit cards. There's a smarter alternative with Loan Pronto. Get more info and start the process now at loanpronto.com. Or if your current VA loan rate is over 6.5%, Loan Pronto can get you in a streamlined refinance with a lower rate right now with no income verification and no appraisal. Lower your monthly payment big time. Loan Pronto makes it so easy for veterans. Call now, 919-381-1760, 919-381-1760. Again, the phone number is 919-381-1760. Equal housing lender, NMLS 1661781, subject to lender approval, NMLSconsumeraccess.org.
It's Tuesday. That means it's time for Cop or Drop when we come back, one of our favorite games where we decide if we're copping or dropping the biggest stories in sports.
Are you ready?
From 54, snap and hold are good. Kick is on the way, plenty of leg, and it is good!
Over the middle it goes, and he's got Puka Nacua to the 30, to the 20. No one's going to catch him.
Back to throw, Crosby off the edge, and he's got him back at the 23!
Tua back to throw. Deep, down the numbers on the left, and the Cheetahs got it! Touchdown!
The NFL kicks off August 1st on 99.9 The Fan, the Triangle Sports leader.
Hungry for flavor and value? Then it's Bo time. Nothing slays the hunger beast like some of that bodacious Bojangles flavor. And there's never been a better time to satisfy your Bojangles sandwich cravings than now. With Bojangles Summer Sandwich lineup, you can choose a flavorful Cajun fried chicken filet sandwich, or a tender Cajun grilled chicken filet sandwich, or a crispy Cajun filet club sandwich, or a tasty Bo's chicken sandwich. Make it a sandwich combo and add your choice of a side. Maybe Bojangles seasoned fries, dirty rice, or Cajun pintos. And to complete the perfect meal, Bojangles legendary iced tea. There's a Bojangles sandwich combo for everyone in the family. Summer just doesn't get any better than that. What are you waiting for? You know you're hungry, and you know you want flavor and value. So, it's Bojangles Sandwich Combo time.
I just got let go. The company's downsizing. This is the third time in the last 2 years. I'm done with this.
Have you thought about My Computer Career? I've heard they can train you for a career in IT in just a few months, including cybersecurity and the basics of AI. And you don't need prior training or experience. Now that's a recession-resistant career.
Wow, thanks. I'll check them out.
Go to mycomputercareer.edu and take the free career evaluation. mycomputercareer.edu. Financial aid is available for qualified students, including the GI Bill.
See if you're a winner every night. Watch live lottery drawings on WRAL TV's 11 o'clock news. That's right, Carolina Pick 3, Carolina Pick 4, and Carolina Cash 5 numbers every night on WRAL TV's 11 o'clock news. See if you're a winner before you go off to bed. Get your lottery numbers live every night.
North Carolina Education Lottery.
Only on WRAL TV's 11 o'clock news.
Drive into summer with a Honda CR-V and Accord. Your fun-to-drive, weekend getaway vehicles. And when you drive a Honda, you're driving with the 2024 Kelley Blue Book's KBB.com Best Value brand. So hurry in to the Honda Summer Event.
Contact your local Carolina Honda dealer for a great deal today.
See dealer for financing details based on 2024 Consumer Choice Awards from Kelley Blue Book. Visit kbb.com for more information.
Hot summer days mean time on the water. Let Sound Station and Security make your time even better with our custom boat options. At Sound Station and Security, our Raleigh marine experts can help you for everything with your boat, from the perfect audio system to lights to video. We do it all custom, and we do it all from scratch. You're unique. Your boat should be too. Make sure everyone knows where the best party is this summer on the lake with Sound Station and Security. With 2 locations, downtown Smithfield and on Glenwood Avenue in Raleigh. Online at myhotsound.com.
Every business faces challenges, but complicated, expensive, and uncertain shipping shouldn't be one of them.
With USPS Ground Advantage from the United States Postal Service, you can avoid all the noise.
No more unexpected surcharges, hidden fees, or complex rate structures.
It's just easy, cost-effective, and dependable shipping. Tune your business's frequency to success and turn shipping to your advantage. Learn how at USPS.com/advantage. USPS Ground Advantage. Simple, affordable, reliable.
Drivers who switch and save with Progressive could save hundreds, which could be life-changing. I mean, you could put that money towards concert tickets for your daughter to see that singer who sings about painful breakups. And one song will inspire your little beauty to break up with that beast she's dating, Brian. Instead, she'll date someone who's nice and worthy of her love, not someone who addresses you and your spouse as bro. And it's all because you could save money switching at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates, not available in all states.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Text keyword music, M-U-S-I-C, to 919-860-5326 for your chance to win a pair of tickets to see New Kids on the Block at Coastal Credit Union Music Park on July 28th. That's keyword music, M-U-S-I-C, to 919-860-5326 to win. Enter for your chance to win a pair of tickets to see New Kids on the Block. With that being said, let's go ahead and jump into Cop or Drop.
You want true enlightenment? Well, I'm dropping.
This is where Dennis throws everything he can at me. We're talking predictions, ideas, anything sports related, and I say whether I'm copping or dropping. Dennis, take it away.
All right, let's start. We just talked a little bit about Carolina Panthers and potential wide receiver moves that they could make this offseason. All, again, just imagination, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, Brandon Auyik, wide receiver for the San Francisco 49ers, officially requested a trade from the 49ers today. I don't know if it's like a form you fax in, check in a box. I'm not entirely sure how that works. But nonetheless, Panthers should trade for Brandon Auyik. Cop or drop?
I'm dropping.
Oh, okay.
By the way, I love Brandon Auyik.
You're very high on him.
His ability. I would need to know a little bit more of like maybe if I covered the Niners, I would know a bit more of like how they got to this point and whether he is being a little difficult in the negotiations. I'm unaware of that. But as a player, I've been a fan of Brandon Auyik for a long time. I think he is one of the few wide receivers in the NFL that I would trust to Sorry, I just a tweet from earlier today. I said that this caught me off guard, and since I giggled, I'll let you all in on it before I come back and explain why I love Brandon Auyik. Earlier today, I said that Ohio State was a football school, but then when Odin and Conley got there, it was like, oh, suddenly they're going to be a basketball school for a year. Somebody tweeted at me, Ohio State hoops didn't begin with Odin and Conley. As a Buckeye, they gave me a history lesson. Jim Jackson came 15 years before Odin Conley. Lucas Havlicek were at Ohio State 30 years before Jim Jackson.
Okay.
Ohio State is a football school. The fact that you had 3 examples in the last 45 years of good players, it's like, yeah, they were for a year for each of them. All right, they're a basketball school for that year. And then they went back to being a football school. That's my exact point. You can turn into a basketball school if you have a star for a couple years, and then you can go back to being the football school that you were. Thank you for listening to the show. Davidson. S. Davidson, I guess.
Okay.
Anyway,
why do you love Brandon Auyik?
I like Brandon Auyik for this reason. I think he can get open in a phone booth.
Okay.
He doesn't need to be schemed up so perfectly like some wide receivers do. Some wide receivers are great with the ball in their hands, but they need to be schemed up with a screen or an under route. Brandon Auyik, you can say, like, you can't leave this studio I'm in. I need you to get open. And he'd be standing in that corner, and the defender would be standing in this corner, and they wouldn't know why. He's a route technician. I'm a big Brandon Auyik fan. I don't think the Panthers should trade for him because, A, they don't have the resources to trade. Like, I don't know. You're not giving up future firsts. I don't know what it would take, but the Panthers need all of their future resources. B, I want Deontay Johnson and Xavier Legette to have a little room to breathe. And I don't see this offense throwing it 45 times a game, right? I don't see Bryce Young leading the league in attempts. Too many mouths to feed can get awkward. Like right now, you're going to focus on running the ball, first, second, and third. And then, not on first, second, and third down. I'm saying that's like your priorities. Then play action, then running the ball. Like that's the offense this year. So you can probably spend those resources better elsewhere. See if Deontay Johnson and Xavier Legette work out. If they need help next offseason, you can go get your big high-ticket wide receiver.
Okay, next one. With the reports that Evgeny Kuznetsov is not going to be a Carolina Hurricane because he's going to go play in Russia and have his contract, he wants to terminate his contract. With that news, cop or drop, a rookie is in the opening night lineup for the Carolina Hurricanes. Cop or drop?
I'm copping.
Okay.
I might even cop that if Kuzi's on the opening day roster, which I don't think he will be.
Oh, I meant like in the lineup, not like a healthy scratch.
No,
in the lineup.
I don't think there'll be a rookie healthy scratch because you might as well have him in the AHL. You might as well have him getting real minutes.
Mm-hmm.
I think like I would almost be if I were Rod Brindamore, which I am obviously not. I'd be much tougher. If I were Rod Brindamore, I think I would almost look at the 3 rookies that everyone's excited about, Felix Ungersorn, Bradley Nadeau, and Jackson Blake, and go, I have one spot on the opening day active roster. There's 3 of you. And I would do the coaching thing, right? Like, I'm not going to make the decision. You're going to make the decision by how you play in training camp, by how you show up ready to go. One of you 3 is going to be on the opening day active roster. All 3 of you are parts of our future. We're excited about all 3 of you. I would trust all 3 of you, but I've got one spot for the 3 of you. Good luck, right? And let it sort itself out during the preseason because they're 3 very highly sought prospects, and I do think the way the roster's set up, they're going to need one of them to probably be a legitimate goal scorer in the NHL next year.
Interesting times ahead for the Carolina Hurricanes. By the way,
cop
or drop. Jack Drury and Martin Necas get a contract signed before reaching arbitration this weekend. Cop or drop.
Oh, interesting. I thought before arbitration.
Very rarely do people that apply for arbitration, the athletes that do apply for, at least in terms of hockey, very rarely do they actually get to arbitration.
I agree. It's a deadline, and deadlines get deals done.
It's basically like here's a faux deadline for us to get something
Baseball,
done.
They do make it a decent amount.
Baseball, yes, but baseball, you're looking at a lot more money.
Yeah. Now, so you're saying if either of them do or both of them do? I forget how you phrased the question.
Both.
I'll drop that.
Okay.
I think at most one. I think if it's going to be one, it's going to be Necas. Drury seems like in more of kind of a like a traditional situation, right? Like he's a young guy. He's been playing a decent amount. Hasn't been absolutely lighting it on fire, but is trusted by the team. I think they'll be able to get to a logical place. Necas, it's a little bit less traditional, right? There was talk of offer sheets. There was dads on interviews talking about trade requests. There's positional discrepancies. So with that many moving parts, a GM switching in the middle of all of that taking place. So I think there's a few more moving parts there that might get to arbitration, which I don't think the Canes would love, but time ticks forward and eventually you'll get there if you keep waiting. So I'll say one of the 2.
With no Kuznetsov, his value goes up even more.
And with no Kuznetsov, they have a little bit more money to spend. So maybe
that too as well.
If there's no Kuznetsov, maybe that does let the Canes throw on the extra $1 million or whatever it is to get it done before arbitration. I don't know. It always seems ridiculous to just say throw on the extra $1 million, but that's how they operate. So maybe it gets done. I think one of the 2 for sure gets done before which is why I dropped it.
Okay, next one up here. Copper drop. Tiger Woods makes the cut in the Open Championship. I know where you're going with
You
it.
know what's going to happen here. I'm copping that he makes the cut.
He's not retiring either.
No, he is not.
Colin Montgomery said so.
Take that, Colin Montgomery.
Yeah, what did Colin Montgomery say?
So here's the Colin Montgomery story. Colin Montgomery is a legend in his own right. European golfer. Won a bunch of tournaments. Was on tour for a long time. Very famous.
Played a bunch on the European tour.
Yes, and Ryder Cup guy and all that kind of stuff. He was quoted basically saying, Tiger doesn't look like he has any fun out there. I don't know why he keeps going out there. I guess he still thinks he can win, but we're more realistic. Basically saying Tiger needs to retire. He said there's a time for every sportsman when they need to hang it up, but you can't really tell that to Tiger Woods, as he was telling that to the media, and he knew Tiger Woods would hear it. I have Tiger Woods' quote here actually brought up. I will read it for you. This is Tiger. So then at the U.S. At the Open, British Open, Tiger was asked about it. And he responded with, because Colin Montgomery, isn't invited to play the Open Championship. You'll hear why in a second. Tiger said, well, As a past champion, I'm exempt until I'm 60. Colin's not. He's not a past champion, so he's not exempt. So he doesn't get the opportunity to make that decision. I do. Basically, Tiger said, when you're as good as I am, nobody tells you when to retire. When you're Colin Montgomery, the tournaments stop inviting you. I cannot stop being invited because my wins make me exempt into all of these big tournaments. Basically saying, if there's one person you shouldn't talk trash to in golf, it's probably the guy who his peak was brighter than anyone's peak has ever been.
I'm better than you. You know it. I'll walk away when I want to walk away.
But going back to your original copper drop, will he make the cut? I actually think of all the majors, if he's going to win another, British has a good chance of being it.
Why so?
Because there's not as many hills. Links golf is very like tall grass, wind, hard ground. You can roll it. It's unique, right? All that wispy air.
With the 80-yard putts.
Yeah, exactly. But there's not like a ton of the golf turn would be undulation. There's not a ton of hills and steep walks. I don't think the golf swing is his problem. I think it's endurance on the leg. So for him to play 4 really good competitive rounds of golf in consecutive days, his surgically repaired leg over and over and over again is going to have to be able to hold up from a stamina standpoint. So I think getting him off of which is why Pinehurst was good, by the way. Pinehurst, I thought there was a better chance because it's not the most hilly place in the world. But obviously didn't work out there. Maybe it will at Royal Troon. So, yeah, I think he makes the cut. And then it's a matter of can he keep the wheels from falling off on the weekend.
All right, next one up here on Cop or Drop. This actually, people can actually see this video and this story on WREL.com. There is a fight that took place at a Little League game in a state tournament down in Wilson, North Carolina. And it was between a home plate umpire and a coach for one of the teams where there was like a bump, then a shove, then the umpire was swinging his face mask.
The mask was used as a weapon.
As like towards one of the coaches. Guy got restrained and taken down to the ground, all this stuff. You coach youth sports. Your son is 3 years old coaching soccer. Cop or drop, you're going to get in a fight with an official, Tim.
I'm going to drop this one.
Okay. You're not going to get red card?
Well, I'm not. I didn't say that.
Yeah. Okay.
Stop picking the ball up with your hands, 4-year-old. Here's, by the way, the video is like one of those you kind of have to see to understand because I was told about it, and then I brought up the video. The first swing with the mask is, I mean, it's a roundhouse. There's momentum there. He throws it like a javelin kind of, like starts back from his back hip, brings it all the way around town like a windmill dunk. I hope there were some pretty mean things said before the whole fight broke out.
Had to have.
Because goodness gracious. Do you know what's actually the best part of the video? You watch it the first time, all you see are flailing arms. By the way, it didn't look like these guys got in a lot of fights in their lives. There's a lot of like weak like attempts at punches. But the first time you watch it, you're just gonna watch the fight, and it's like, you know, World Star or YouTube, whatever. You're just watching like fight videos. The second time you watch it, you're gonna notice how awesome the kids are in this situation.
Yeah,
wildly calm. I don't know what these kids have seen, but I know like how old were the kids? Probably 9 or 10 years old, something like that.
I think somewhere like 11.
11. Okay. At 11, if my coach and the ump started like throwing fisticuffs, my face would have eyebrows up, mouth open, like something. One of the kids had his arms on his hips and was just watching it like he was watching, the grass grow.
Like I've seen this before.
Like he was in the right field waiting between pitches. He was just watching a fight. The catcher just turns around and backs up and is just walking backwards like, What have these kids seen?
I know.
What have these kids seen in their history?
One of the umpires, one of the base umpires that was trying to be in between the coach and the home plate umpire before, like while they're jawing back and forth, try to get in between it, and then he just stepped away and just stands there and is like, "Nah, y'all clowns should just go do this. I'm just gonna stand right here."
I've been in that situation where Like you think like a shoving match is breaking out,
Mm-hmm.
and you're gonna be the peacemaker. You're gonna go get in between them. Hey, and then somebody does something that shows like, oh, this is a little bit more than I thought it was gonna be. I'm not gonna break this up, right? It's like he's out there like, hey, everybody, calm down. As soon as the mask comes over the top and is used as a weapon, he was like, you know what? I'm bigger than I thought.
Yeah,
bigger than I thought.
It's like
I'm just gonna walk over here.
Linesman in a hockey game trying to maybe split up something like, no, gloves are off. Okay, let him have it. Just let him go. They're just talking.
I'll be actually the best example I have of this. June Jones, legendary football coach, was the coach
at SMU.
of the Falcons. SMU,
ACC legend.
ACC legend. Was the coach at the University of Hawaii with Colt Brennan when they played in the Sugar Bowl.
The air raid offense.
When I lived out there, he was the coach. And University of Hawaii went on a streak where like probably 2 or 3, maybe 4 consecutive bowl games they played in the Hawaii Bowl, and it ended with an all-out brawl between the two teams. It was like every year.
Love it.
No one really noticed because it happened at like 2:00 in the morning Eastern time. So like it just, but we were always there. We'd go to the Hawaii Bowl every year, and I'll never forget one time. June Jones was at like the 50-yard line. This whole fight is happening. Overtime had just happened, so it was like everyone was tucked in on one side of the field. Fights happening. Hawaii players, I think it was against Cincinnati. Hawaii players are running out of the fray with Cincinnati helmets like trophies, and they're holding them up, and the crowd is going like it's a scalp in an old Western movie, and they're holding it up, and the crowd's going wild. And June Jones had like a notebook out, and he wasn't breaking anything up, wasn't jumping in the middle of it. His assistant coach is just taking notes, and I felt like he was just going, all right, he's a senior, can't do anything to him because it's a bowl game. He's a senior, can't do. That junior's running 5 a.m.s. That junior, he's got stadium steps. Ooh, that's a punch thrown by a freshman. He'll have 5:30s for the next two weeks. It was just, sometimes you realize you're not going to break it up, so you should just get out of there and observe. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. That is Copper Drop. We're a moment or two late, but Storm Tracker fired up. Tracking the rumors around the Carolina Hurricanes offseason. Dennis, what are we dealing with today?
All right, so the official word about Evgeny Kuznetsov and his potential contract buyout and all that stuff hasn't come down yet. In order for his contract to be terminated, he needs to be placed on unconditional waivers with the designation of either a buyout or a contract termination. We haven't seen that officially come down as of yet. We haven't seen an announcement from the team or anything along those lines. But we're still waiting for that to happen. So until then, we're still trying to figure out, okay, well, if that actually doesn't happen, what does that actually mean for guys like Natchez, Jarvis, and Drury who are waiting for either salary arbitration or restricted free agency signings, whatever it might be. Now, here's something that actually happened yesterday that kind of maybe flew under the radar for a lot of Carolina Hurricanes fans. Because let's say Evgeny Kuznetsov doesn't actually leave, which, okay, you're keeping a good player. But the cap space to sign a Seth Jarvis to a long-term deal might not be there this year. So what can Seth Jarvis maybe do in the short term? Even if Seth Jarvis is, the cap space is free for Jarvis to sign, let's say, 8-year contract at $8 million a year, is he willing to do that as of right now in his career? There's a player by the name of Quentin Byfield who was drafted same year, 2020, is a year younger, about 6 months younger, I should say, than Seth Jarvis. Plays for the LA Kings. Center, big guy, like 6'5", 220. Plays for the LA Kings. Just signed a 5-year, $6.25 million contract with the LA Kings. So that'll take him to about age 26, 27, which and then he can really cash in his mid-20s on his next contract. That doesn't help the Carolina Hurricanes in the sense that Seth Jarvis put up way more points and better numbers than he did this year and is only 6 months older. Quentin Byfield, 20 goals, 35 assists. Seth Jarvis, 33 goals, 34 assists, 67 points. So, like, already better goal production, already better point production, and you already know I'm a proven player in the playoffs, and I've been doing it for 3 straight years. Quentin Byfield's had one really, really good year, and he just got paid 5 years, $6.25 million. Let's say I want to do a 5-year deal. Maybe I can command $7 million a year over the next 5 and then cash in it again possibly. Seth Jarvis has a lot of options, and he has some leverage on his hands.
This is where relationships with agents matter. Mm-hmm. This is where you have to find out what the player wants and then appeal to that. Because, Like, what should Seth Jarvis ask for? Well, that's a personal preference thing, right? He could ask for 8 years because he wants stability and he wants to get the most total value guaranteed on a contract. He could also say, I'm 22 years old. I want to take another stab at this where most of my next contract will be before the age of 32. So that the next time I'm asking for a contract, I won't have a GM telling me, well, by the end, like they probably just heard with Gensel, right? Like by the end of this contract, you're going to be 37, 38, and we don't expect, everybody falls off. So sometimes getting back to that bite at the apple again, get another contract quick is what the player wants. So it's really like do you hit on 16? Right? Sometimes it's a personality thing. Well, do you like to live dangerously? What's Seth Jarvis want? And then you work around that. I will say this, like now the Kuznetsov thing is like a reverse of like why you got the Slavin deal done early, right? You got the Slavin deal done early so you knew what you could build, like how much cap space and what you could build around moving forward. Kuznetsov, now the $3.9 million, it's like you got to get that done so you know whether you have the $3.9 million or not to spend. It's hard to even really talk with Jarvis, with any kind of certainty when you don't know if you're going to have that $3.9 million or not, because that changes things because that arbitration might be coming for Natchez and Drury or one of the two. So it's a really tough situation to be in. You almost have to have like two things, right? Like Jarvis, here's what we can do for you if Kuznetsov is here. Here's what we can do for you if Kuznetsov is not, because we're going to have roughly $4 million in cap space different next year based on that. I think Kuznetsov is gone. That's how I would plan. But until pen hits paper, until all the proper certifications and double stamp, the triple stamps happen, it's not that easy. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. When we come back, we are going to hit a feedback frenzy. But first, I need to tell you about my friends over at Miller Lending, and that includes Gordon Miller. It is the home of the no-cost loan. That is a no-cost mortgage, meaning no closing cost, no fees, no third-party fees. It's truly zero means zero at Miller Lending, but it's also no closing costs, no fees on a refi. So if you get your mortgage now, rates might be a little higher than you like, and you might be, one of those very, very paranoid people that is, as soon as I get my mortgage, rates are going to fall. I just know it. That's the way my luck is. Well, if that happens, you didn't pay costs or fees on your mortgage, do it again. Refi. Don't pay costs or fees again. It won't cost you anything out of your pocket. You'll just lower your monthly payment, and you don't have to worry about that nagging feeling of, as soon as I put pen to paper on this rate, as soon as I lock in my monthly payment, rates are going to tumble. It's like, well, if that happens, refinance with no cost. When you get a mortgage from Miller Lending, it's not your forever payment. It's not the payment you're going to make 100% of the next 30 years, every month for the next 30 years. If rates drop, that rate may be one you pay just a couple times before you refinance and your rate drops. It's all there. It can be explained to you by the Gordon Miller and the crew over at Miller Lending. You can give them a call, 919-447-3377, or you can visit them online for more information at millerlending.com. The phone number one more time, 919-447-3377, or you can go online at millerlending.com. Miller Lending is an equal housing lender, and MLS number 250-2146. Feedback Frenzy, some of your best comments from the internet coming up next.
The Adam Gold Show.
While I'm watching Colombia-Uruguay, not only the end of that match, but the fight in the stands after it.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Heard it got spicy.
A horrible, horrible look. But that was the most excited fans we have seen in 5 years at Bank of America Stadium. Man, look at all the happy people at Bank of America.
Just took the other kind of football.
Yeah, there you go. More of that.
The Adam Gold Show, weekdays starting at noon on 99.9 The Fan.
You're not going to want to miss this. Diamonds Direct summer sale starts this weekend. For 3 days only this Friday through Sunday, get 20% off rings, earrings, pendants, bracelets, and more. Plus, book an appointment and get an additional $100 off. And designers are flying in from New York and LA to showcase their latest trends. That's 20% off, plus $100 off with an appointment and designer trunk shows. Tons of engagement rings on sale too. 20% off starts Friday. Details at diamondsdirect.com. 3 days only and Sunday.
Hey, John, why so glum?
I just got let go. The company's downsizing. This is the third time in the last 2 years. I'm done with this.
Have you thought about My Computer Career? I've heard they can train you for a career in IT in just a few months, including cybersecurity and the basics of AI. And you don't need prior training or experience. Now that's a recession-resistant career.
Wow, thanks. I'll check them out.
Go to mycomputercareer.edu and take the free career evaluation. mycomputercareer.edu. Financial aid is available for qualified students, including the GI Bill.
Elevate your driving with Wilkinson Chevrolet Cadillac Buick GMC in Sanford. For a limited time, when you trade in a 2010 or newer Buick or GMC vehicle, receive up to 15% off the MSRP of a new 2024 GMC Sierra 1500. Offer valid on stock number 24489. Similar offers available for others. Must take delivery by July 31st, 2024. GMC, we are professional grade. Visit our showroom, Wilkinson Chevrolet Cadillac Buick GMC in Sanford, or find us online at wilkinsoncars.com.
On average, people spend over a third of their life sleeping, yet most sleep disorders go undiagnosed.
I'm Megan Gigling, General Manager of Parkway Sleep Health Centers. Sleep struggles left untreated can lead to health problems and have a serious effect on your quality of life. We've served the Triangle for 20 years. Let us help you get the sleep you've been dreaming of.
If you're in need of a sleep study, a knowledgeable doctor, CPAP machine, or supplies, Parkway has you covered. For more information or to schedule an appointment, visit parkwaysleep.com. Sound sleep, sound health.
Batter up! Theater Raleigh presents Bull Durham, a new musical playing Duke University's Reynolds Industries Theater in Durham, September 10th through the 22nd. Based on the classic movie, the film's original screenwriter, Ron Shelton, has adapted the story for the musical, so you can follow Crash Davis's Durham Bulls story and his romantic love triangle in a new genre. The perfect blend of comedy, drama, and steamy romance. Get your tickets for Bull Durham, a new musical, today. Details and ticket info at theaterraleigh.com.
Adam Gold in studio with my man Patrick Day from the Aluminum Company of North Carolina. Everything for the exterior of your home, but it's also everything for the peace of mind of the customer. Talk to me about the trust factor and everything else that you guys offer.
I got to tell you, I think one of the biggest things for us is we don't take any payment from you for any of your home improvement needs until we're done with the project. I hear stories all the time about people putting down deposits with companies, 25, 50% of the project total overall, and they don't even know, they don't show up.
Right.
You've lost whatever percentage you put down, that's how much power you lost already. Right?
Right.
So with us, you pay nothing until we're done. Typically we're not the least expensive, and we're certainly not the most expensive. You get 3 or 4 estimates, we're going to fall right there in the middle. But, you're going to have a warranty that's lifetime, transferable for 10 years on any of the products we sell typically. And we've been around since 1961. You can trust us. We've been around forever.
It is about trust, and I think you guys are the most trustworthy business that I know. Aluminum Company of North Carolina, aluminumcompany.com.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. We start up the college football season next week from ACC football kickoff. Adam Gold, as well as this show, The Drive, will be live in Charlotte with insight and interviews thanks to Wilkinson Chevrolet Cadillac Buick GMC in Sanford. I'm looking forward to that trip. Dennis, you'll be there also.
I'll be there too.
Hopefully you're looking forward to it.
We'll be there a week from today.
Football season. It's also feedback frenzy season.
That is, by the way, 1 week from today, Panthers veterans report to training camp.
Let's go. Football season. I keep wanting to say the quote from Wedding Crashers. What's better, Christmas season or wedding season? He raises his hand. Yes. Wedding season. Only for me, it's what's better, wedding season or football season? Raise your hand. Football season. Let's go. It's also feedback frenzy season, as I mentioned. Let's hear what all of you are saying on our YouTube comments, social media, and everywhere else. Dennis, what's the feedback?
All right, this one comes from a face.
Comes from a face?
Just as that's her name on YouTube is Face. So we actually posted the conversation we had earlier today about the Big Ten doesn't want Florida State. Not interested in FSU, right? Well, Face says, I promise FSU is Big Ten bound if you actually read the article, the one referring by Brett McMurphy from the Action Network, which you directly read quotes from. Most of the quotes are from the SEC. But hey, get your clicks. I was like, no, actually, I think Brett McMurphy actually talked to a lot of high-end officials in both the SEC and the Big Ten.
Added another, this is a direct quote, added another Big Ten source.
Yeah.
There are too many negatives. They've proven to be a disruptive partner. Even if you got them in a similar discounted rate as the Oregon and Washington deal, do you trust them as a partner? There's also a large part of that article that is about the AAU research, not written requirement, but it's kind of a swanky club that the Big Ten likes to be a part of, and Florida State's not.
Well, person also said, well, they're working on it. They're in the midst of getting their AAU.
Oh, okay.
So it's like, oh, okay, so you don't have it yet. It's like, I've got my learner's permit. That's basically
Here's the
what that
thing.
is.
If the Big Ten wanted you, they'd want you.
Yeah.
Making you jump through hoops. Oh, go get your AAU research requirement. If they wanted you, they'd want you, right? It's like a relationship, right? If they wanted you, they'd make time for you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Don't keep being the second option when their other plans fall through. If they wanted you, they'd want you. Florida State, they don't want you.
They don't. Speaking of somebody wanting someone, Scott St. Petersburg of the KHO wants Evgeny Kuznetsov. We had that conversation yesterday, and John Lyon says this. We really got lucky with him, Kuznetsov, going to SKA, going to SKA. That cap space, the $3.9 million, is more important than him.
That's where you get to like kind of the win-win. Like, you want to go home, we'll let you go. But you also don't want to get, like, if there's something you can get for it, or why not? It all comes down to how you spend the 3.9. Because here's the deal. You're not losing Jarvis. You have him under control for 4 more years. You're not losing Drury. You're not losing Natchez. So if you take the $3.9 million that you get from Kuznetsov and just distribute it to those 3, next season doesn't change at all. What you do is you set yourself up for a better future by hopefully using that money to facilitate some longer-term deals with one and or a couple of those guys. So I hear what you're saying. I'm not against you. It's just a lot of moving parts going on with to be at this point, to be mid-July in an NHL offseason.
All right, next one. We talked last week about our favorite moves of the Carolina Hurricanes offseason so far. This one comes from Tim. He says, not you, Tim, but a different Tim.
Maybe I'll comment next time.
Bringing back Ghost, being Gostisbehere, and signing Walker was huge. Almost the same stats last season as Pesce and Shea for less than what Brady got with Nashville.
Yep. Great point. And it's one we've made. It's one I've seen made elsewhere. But, yes, I also think it's fair to acknowledge that, like, Brady Shea's a beast. Like, I don't know if you get back the exact same level of play. But, yeah, no, that's good GMing. And we said that as it happened. Maybe the day after. Maybe after a night to sleep on it. But we said it at some point in time on the show. Mm-hmm. That's good GMing by Eric Tulsky.
Yeah.
The part that I'm concerned about is the second line of the forwards, but the defense I'm still very confident in. And I'll be curious to see how they deploy him, like what pairings they use. Is it Gostisbehere and Orlov? Is it Chatty and Orlov? It
might be Gostisbehere and Chatfield together.
Is it Gostisbehere and Chatfield?
And
Walker and Walker?
Mm-hmm.
Or Walker and Orlov? Orlov and Walker? They can decide who goes first.
Sure.
On the marquee.
Left or right or left, whichever.
And then Burns and Slavin obviously up top. That's good. That's good defensive talent. I'm not hating on that at all. And yes, you are right. Saved you some money that hopefully lets you solve some problems on the other side of the ice.
All right, next one here. We had a conversation, I believe it was yesterday, about the Carolina Panthers and actually, I'm sorry, it was last week, about who are some of the playmakers on defense outside of Jadeveon Clowney or Derek Brown or J.C. Horn outside of that, who's really that next playmaker, difference maker for the Carolina Panthers? Defensively, we mentioned safety Xavier Woods. And this one comes from Kessler saying, Woods isn't that good. He probably won't be on the roster after this year. He's one of the most easily replaceable starters on our team.
No, well, first of all, take it back.
That's what he said.
No, I'm fine with them saying that.
Yeah.
What does it say about the rest of the defense that we chose him as the fourth best playmaker?
Well, actually, this actually kind of goes into Hundo actually said this on the same video. He says, nah, bro. Everyone is really forgetting Jordan Fuller we got from the Rams. He is cold-blooded.
Not forgetting him, he's going to be a starter.
Jordan Fuller had his best year of his career playing with the Rams when Evero was part of that staff.
I was just going to say, and he comes with the added cosign of Evero.
Mm-hmm.
You like those players. Yeah. You like the players that your coaches have worked with in the past, and they reach out to bring them back because there is like a knowledge there. It's less unknown. Look, I just brought up his stats right here. 7 career interceptions in 4 years. 4 career forced fumbles. Yeah, I mean, he's 17 passes defensed. Like I hope he does better.
I hope so, too.
I'll put it that way. I hope he does outplay Xavier Woods because I believe Jordan Fuller is on not a 1-year deal.
I think it's a 1-year deal.
Oh, well, then never mind.
It's a 1-year deal.
Yeah, maybe he will be. I'm guessing Xavier Woods.
Last week, we also had a conversation about Hard Knocks, the New York Giants Hard Knocks in their offseason, and they had video clip of Drake May, former UNC quarterback, on the whiteboard being asked, basically grilled by the coaching staff of the New York Giants about, basically kind of like his knowledge and understanding of the game. We had a video up about that on YouTube. MP says David Tepper, who's the owner of the Carolina Panthers, David Tepper trading up for Bryce Young the year before this draft will go down as one of the most idiotic decisions in Panthers history.
Yeah, probably already has, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
They turned the Chicago Bears have not done any favors to like Panthers PR by doing good things with those picks.
Mm-hmm.
Caleb Williams, even like Keenan Allen ended up being like a down the road. They got that with what the Panthers gave up. It's a really tough spot for the Panthers. You make a bad trade, that's why people lost their jobs. And yeah, Drake May, Jaden Daniels, Caleb Williams, plus whoever they would have gotten with the 9th pick last year, plus 2nd rounder, plus 4th rounder, plus it's
a lot.
Yeah, I mean indefensible, right? There's nothing really there's no dance I can do here that'd be like, well, actually the Panthers might have actually had a good, they might the only way that happens is Bryce Young becomes like a Hall of Famer. If that happens, they'll look back and go, they gave up a lot, but they got a Hall of Famer. No pressure, Bryce. That's what you got to do. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. That is Feedback Frenzy. When we come back, we'll hit you with the starting 5, including maybe the worst national anthem ever. Stick around.
Evan, Canty, and Michelle are unsportsmanlike.
On a day after skis, did I do it right, Smalls? I'm trying to do it. No, I'm trying to do it right. You got to do it.
It wasn't that bad.
Thank you.
It wasn't that bad.
Skis? Come on, Smalls.
You didn't have to do it twice, though.
Okay.
You did it once. I let you get away with it. I said it was okay. You tried to do it twice. Moderation, Evan.
Skis?
Mornings from 6 to 9 on 99.9 The Fan, the Triangle Sports Leader.
Tim Donnelly here from my friends at Zero Res. And if you're like me, you love to DIY, right? Do it yourself, save the money. I can tell you from experience, they Zero Resified my house, and you can't get it this clean by yourself with the carpet soaking machines or anything else you can rent. Go ahead, give them a call now, 919-995-0000, and ask for the Station Special. That's the 99.9 The Fan special. Get 3 rooms, Zero Resified, starting at just $109 and get a free hallway done on top of that.
Planning an engagement? Now's the time. It's Bailey's Fine Jewelry's spectacular engagement ring blowout. 3 days only. Engagement rings, loose diamonds, and wedding bands. Up to 60% off. You'll be blown away by the huge selection of diamond sizes and engagement ring styles near cost, at cost, even below cost. Bailey's Engagement Ring Blowout, July 25th through 27th in Raleigh, Cary, Rocky Mount, and Greenville. Learn more at BaileyBox.com.
That'll be 30 even.
That's 90 points! Sorry, that was a lot. Now that I'm getting 3 times the points on food and fuel with the Navy Federal More Rewards American Express card, I get a little too hyped sometimes.
Cool. Would you like your receipt?
In the bag! Sorry, in the bag, please.
Learn more about the everyday, everywhere Navy Federal More Rewards American Express card at NavyFederal.org. Navy Federal Credit Union. Our members are the mission. Navy Federal is insured by NCUA.
What are you doing? Eating caviar. Yuck. Get this. Supreme 7 scratch-offs from the North Carolina Education Lottery have the best odds to win $400 with a $4 million top prize. So I'm learning to enjoy rich people stuff.
Okay, let me try. Gross. What's next?
Ballroom dancing.
I'll lead.
New Supreme 7s. A shot at supreme riches. Must be 18 to play. Approximate overall odds of winning are 1 in 4.18. Problem gambling helpline 877-718-5543.
College football season is right around the corner, and head coach Mac Brown and the Tar Heels want to see you in Kenan Stadium this fall. Don't miss out on exciting home matchups featuring in-state opponents, including NC State, Wake Forest, NC Central, and the home opener versus Charlotte on September 7th. All ticket options, including full season tickets, the customizable Tar Heel 2-pack, and individual game tickets are on sale now. For more information and to get your Carolina football tickets today, visit GoHeels.com.
Get ready to be captivated by a gun range like no other. Hey, it's Victoria Vodenecker here for Youngsville Gun Club and Range, the only live-fire digital indoor shooting range on the East Coast. It's open to the public, offers 20 modern shooting lanes, and carries one of the largest selections around. And speaking of the selection, YGC has the hottest firearms to accommodate individual preferences and the best prices in the area. Youngsville Gun Club and Range is conveniently located off US 1 in Youngsville, and for $10 off a range card, use promo code SPORTS. Learn more at ygunrange.com. That's the letter Y, gunrange.com.
Hey, John, why so glum?
I just got let go. The company's downsizing. This is the third time in the last 2 years. I'm done with this.
Have you thought about My Computer Career? I've heard they can train you for a career in IT in just a few months, including cybersecurity and the basics of AI. And you don't need prior training or experience. Now that's a recession-resistant career.
Wow, thanks. I'll check them out.
Go to mycomputercareer.edu and take the free career evaluation. mycomputercareer.edu. Financial aid is available for qualified students, including the GI Bill.
When it comes to prostate cancer, go to PCF.org for the help you need to navigate this disease and make the right decisions for yourself. Go to PCF.org today.
This hour of buzzer-beating, nail-biting, edge-of-your-seat sports action on 99.9 The Fan is powered by
Ritchie Law Firm Injury Lawyers.
Visit GotBryan.com.
That's GotBryan.com.
WCMC HD1 Holly Springs. Take us with you on radio, web, app, Alexa, and YouTube. 99.9 The Fan, the Triangle Sports leader.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm WRL meteorologist Mike Mays. Another rough afternoon of heat. We've got one more coming up, and then it backs off for Thursday and into the weekend. A few evening storms possible, 79 the low. Tomorrow, 50% chance for storms. The high temperature around 98.
Weather update brought to you by Newcomb & Company, where your comfort is their business. Visit newcombandcompany.com. 5 o'clock check of your money. Dow Jones up 742 points today to 40,954. Market update brought to you by The Good Feet Store. Ready to step into a healthy and active lifestyle? Come to The Good Feet Store and experience the difference. Discover how a simple step can lead to a life of pain-free possibilities.
It's 5 o'clock. Time to serve up the biggest sports stories of the day. Here comes your starting five.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. It is time for the starting five. But before we jump into that, baseball's biggest stars take the field tonight in the MLB All-Star Game on 99.9 The Fan. Listen for every joke about Texas life and pitching changes. Starting at 7, presented by Gatorade. It is funny how that changes, right? The pitching changes, everybody gets bent out of shape about.
Yeah.
I remember as a kid being stoked because you were going to get to see like all 10 of the best pitchers in the game the same night. I'm like, yeah, change it out. Let's get Pedro in there. All right, cool. Let's put Randy Johnson in there. Where's Greg Maddux? There he is. Like you were just cranking through him.
Usually they do it for the most part. Just like every guy just pitches an inning.
Yeah.
Generally,
Yep.
it's like, all right, you 1 inning. All right, cool, you're done.
Unless you give up like 2 hits, then they're like, all right,
next one.
Get some of the relievers in there.
It's like, all right, you've thrown the ball 15 times. All right, you're good. Come on out. Which I'm okay with.
Yeah, I was gonna say injuries in the All-Star game. No, thank you.
I'm okay with it.
No, thank you. But before we talk about the MLB All-Star game, that might be a tease, might be some of the part of the starting 5. Let's jump to the starting 5, starting with number 5. So is Kuznetsov officially a member of the SKA St. Petersburg hockey team yet?
Not yet.
Okay.
But it could be soon. It's weird because we're
that was
actually
a Ron
seeing,
Burgundy. You threw a question mark at the end of that.
Kind of.
I'm Ron Burgundy.
I'm Ron Burgundy. Kuznetsov reportedly again signed with a KHL team, SKA St. Petersburg, agreed to a 4-year deal.
Didn't sign, but yeah, agreed.
Well, agreed to it. In order to sign that contract, he has to terminate his contract with the Carolina Hurricanes. That's something I guess you have to kind of negotiate and all those kinds of things. Because the Canes aren't just going to, hey, we're going to buy you out and pay you cash in this as well, and bye-bye. There are some other things to work out is because the Washington Capitals retained half of Evgeny Kuznetsov's salary as part of the trade with Kuznetsov and the Canes at the trade deadline. So that was part of the deal. So does Washington get cap relief in all this? Do they have a say in any of this because that's who signed the contract? They're retaining half the salary. How does that work out? I'm not entirely sure how that's actually going to work out because there are 2 teams that are kind of on the books for Evgeny Kuznetsov. So there's some things that need to be worked out. And it's funny how one of the agents is like, well, like nothing's, official as of yet. But where there's smoke, there's fire. Like, clearly he wants to go to Russia. And you know what? That's fine. If he wants to go, terminate the deal, get the $3.9 million of cap space. Same with Washington. They'll get $3.9 million in cap space too, and everyone just move on.
Washington, as I'm sure, just watching and hoping, right? Their team, like Carolina, let them go because I assume they're going to get some of that. Like they're not going to be on the hook for money for a player that isn't even in the league.
Yeah.
So
well, they got a 3rd-round pick for it. So
I wonder. Yeah, I wonder if there's any contingencies.
Probably not.
It is an interesting situation there. I said this on Twitter. Regardless of what happens with Evgeny Kuznetsov, we will always have that one drawn-out, slow-motion goal. We'll always have the one penalty shot, which was awesome. It was electric. It made everybody extremely excited. And then he apparently doesn't want to stay here. Do you think, by the way, the Canes have a lot of Russian players, a lot of Russian prospects.
Mm-hmm.
Not worried about this, are we?
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
No, because you see, like, Svechnikov got paid.
True.
Paid handsomely. Was one of the faces of the league, young faces of the league. No, I think they'd be just fine.
I just hope there's no hey, it's awesome playing back home. You guys should try it.
Well, here's the thing. Kuznetsov built up his star power here in the States.
That's true, too. That's why he's going to be such a big drawback there. It's like, all right, win a cup and then go.
This is kind of like, think of it along the lines of, one of the waning stars in pro soccer coming to MLS type deal. It's like he's a big deal. It's
so you're saying Messi is waning?
He'd probably tell you that, maybe.
Well, it's just waning Messi is still better than just
still
about
better than everyone else in MLS. That's a fact.
No, but I mean, obviously there's whatever. Danny I don't know why I would try to do this. David Villa came over here.
Mm-hmm.
There's a bunch that have done it.
David Beckham.
Still over here, owning the team.
But you can be a star and you don't have to play at a high level and still be a star and still be good. What's that?
Ibrahimovic did it?
Yeah.
Did Rooney?
Yeah, Wayne Rooney did it too.
I'm just naming soccer players now. Look at all these soccer players I can name.
Look at that.
How proud are you, Adam Gold? That's number 5. Let's get to number 4.
We are the 4 horsemen. Woo!
Some are calling the national anthem last night at the Home Run Derby the worst national anthem of all time.
It was awful.
We have a bit of an explanation.
Okay. By the way, go look it up. Just look up wherever. Look up Home Run Derby National Anthem. You will find a video.
Ingrid Andress is the woman that sang.
Country music singer.
It was played for jokes quite a bit over the last 20 some odd or a little less than hours. Ingrid, the singer, did put out a statement today that said, "I'm not going to BS you. I was drunk last night. I'm checking myself into a facility today to get the help that I need. That was not me last night. I apologize to MLB, all the fans, and this country I love so much for that rendition. I'll let y'all know how rehab is. I hear it's super fun. XO Ingrid." If she's dealing with that kind of problem, it's like the joke's kind of got to come to a stop. There's a lot of comparisons to Fergie. There's a lot of comparisons to Roseanne, a lot of comparisons to Carl Lewis as far as the worst renditions of the national anthem of all time. I think it's fair to keep this one out, right? If that's truly like her lowest moment, if that's rock bottom when she realized she needed to get help, I mean, let none of us be judged by our worst, right?
Mm-hmm.
But man, I can tell you right now, watching it the first time, like as it happens, there were questions. I had questions. One of them was probably like, is she drunk?
Okay?
Is she on something?
Yeah.
I thought maybe, because you know how like when your headset, the audio in your headset is a little delayed?
Yes.
Sometimes you end up unintentionally talking like this. Like in radio, you notice it. Like quickly, if what you're saying in your headphones don't align.
Oh, if there's a little delay,
you take the headphones off immediately and you're moving on.
Yeah.
But if you're not like a radio or an audio person, you might not notice that you're talking like this. So it is a difficult deal. So anyway, it was funny in the moment, not funny with a little bit more information. Maybe one of the worst national anthems of all time, but I hope it's not brought up in those moments. Also, and this is me being maybe nitpicky, write a slightly better statement on that. I don't know if you need jokes in your statement about going to rehab to get the help you need. Serious conversation. But again, nitpicky. You do what you have to do to get better. That's number 4. Let's get to number 3.
1, 2, 3.
There was a fight, the Little League baseball field in Wilson.
Yes.
Between a coach and an umpire.
Wilson, North Carolina, for those who don't know, is about 45 minutes east of here. East of Raleigh, I should say.
If you want to watch the video, WRAL.com. It's
right on the homepage.
It's right on the homepage. I said you want to watch the video because I'm going to describe it here, and what you're going to imagine I don't think is going to be like doing it justice. The coach runs over to the umpire. Another umpire steps in the middle. There's a shove, and then I can only imagine something was said because there's a very quick motion by the umpire. He takes the mask, like the hard metal and plastic mask that an umpire wears behind the plate, the home plate umpire, and he roundhouses it on top of the coach.
Oh, yeah, pure overhand rights here.
And then, some of the overhands were required because there was like an innocent bystander in the middle. There was the ump trying to break it up, so they're punching like over shoulders. I don't think, luckily, and I don't know if this is like any kind of silver lining at all, luckily, I don't think many of the punches landed.
No, they didn't.
There's a lot of big misses. But can we set like a resolution for the rest of the year?
What's that?
No more fistfights at the Little League baseball field.
Well, yeah, there's that. I mean, there's that.
Go ahead.
I will say this though. If I'm armored up, like I've got the chest protector, I got the shin guards and stuff on, I got a weapon in hand, I'm using it.
Yep.
I mean, let's be real. This is one thing I always never understood in baseball fights. Like, you got a bat.
Oh, geez.
Like, you got a bat.
That becomes.
I'm like, oh, you want to throw at me now? I'll come at you with this.
My thing in football was,
let's go.
Strap up.
Yeah.
Right. You see guys like their helmets get knocked off. I'm like, oh no. Even if I'm breaking up a fight, I'm keeping the chin strap on.
Oh. All 4 buttons.
Mouthpiece in.
All 4 buckles snapped. Let's go.
I remember as a kid, though, I was probably 8 or 9. There was, I don't think it ended up being a fight, but an umpire, this is a game I was in, an umpire threw out a fan like a dad was yelling too much, so threw him out. And the rule was you just had to go sit in your car till the end of the game, right?
Mhm.
And the parking lot was like along the foul ball line. Like you could still see most of the game. It's just you had to go sit in your car. You couldn't be like right behind the dugout, right? Unfortunately, more than once or twice, like people got thrown out. So, right, throw him out. The guy didn't want to leave. Throw him out. The guy didn't want to leave. All right, buddy, you got to go. And then the dad, right, the fan, threw the double birds at the ump, and I was the catcher, right? So I'm right in the mix. Threw the double birds at the ump, and the umpire looked at him and like got real serious and said, "Take him to the parking lot. I'll break him off for you later." Talking about his middle fingers. And he said it in a very cool and calm way that as like a 9-year-old, I was like, I don't think this is the first time he's going to have ripped off somebody's middle finger. This feels like something that's in his bag of tricks. And there's no spot for it at the Little League ballparks, but sometimes kids get their eyes open to some new things when those kind of deals break down. Another funny story, and this is one where I had to everyone had to kind of withhold their comments in college. So now we're talking college coaches. We beat one of our rivals. I won't say which one because then you'll be able to figure out like who the coach is. Beat one of our rivals in a very, very hard-fought game, right? Came down to the wire. We knocked down the Hail Mary. We're running onto the field. Everybody's jacked up. And the two head coaches, right, they always run right to the 50 to shake a hand. And my coach, I guess, didn't believe – like he thought he got the limp – the dead fish handshake from the other guy, right? No eye contact, limp fish. And there were some calls and some scrappy play down the end. So our coach didn't let him leave, right? Coach tries to give a quick, like, blow-by handshake, and he held on to the arm and didn't let him leave. Then suddenly the coaches are in each other's face. Then as soon as that head coaches – then as soon as that happens, right, players aren't going to let their head coach, like, fight. So then players are getting in the middle. So now everybody's breaking it up. And the irony of it all was I was the quarterback. I knew the other team's quarterback.
Mhm.
We had, like, through recruiting and everything. So we were buddies. We wanted to go chat after the game, right? Like, oh, it was a good throw, whatever. We start walking towards each other, and a cop gets in the middle of us and goes, no. Keep it moving. And we literally looked at him and went, we're the quarterbacks. We're good. And he went, looked at us. All right, you two can go talk. And like,
we're friends. We promise.
Throwing hand, buddy. No punches are going to be thrown.
We're hugging, not tackling each other.
And you could see him go like, all right, and like knew he had bigger fish to fry. You're right. I probably shouldn't be focused on the quarterbacks. Let me go take care of the linebackers, and ran away. And then our coach, this is where I had to withhold what I was going to say. We get in the locker room, right? We're all fired up. We won the game. Fight after the game, even though it wasn't a fight. It was just a lot of posturing. Our coach, who was probably 20, 25 years older than the other team's head coach, if they would have let us fight, I would have kicked his bleep. And we all had to go like, yeah. Meanwhile, we looked at each other like, definitely would have lost that fight. He's excited that they broke that one up because it let him look tough, right? It was a good hold me back moment.
Oh, got a little good hold me back moment.
Hold me back. I would have kicked his bleep. We're like, I don't know about that one, but yeah.
One of the stupidest things when it comes to fights in sports, when speaking of football, is why throw punches to a guy wearing a helmet? Like, why? Like, you're 100%. An idiot. You deserve to, like, get injured.
Body blows.
You deserve to get injured. I would throw a punch at a guy wearing a helmet.
Break your hand?
If you break your hand, that's on you. You're
100%.
Dumb.
It's the dumbest thing. Or I never got the baseball players that, they give up 2 runs, they hit to the dugout, and they punch the wall. I'm like, you're dummy. Do you think that's drywall? You're punching concrete. Oh, it broke his hand. He was upset. I'm like, yeah. Now he's probably more upset. I don't know how he doesn't. If you break your pitching hand punching a wall, you should break your other hand punching the wall after because you feel so stupid, and you obviously – it's more frustrating than the runs you just gave up.
Good luck trying to eat dinner.
Stand there with your hands up.
Basically.
I don't know what to do with my hands. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. That's number 3. Let's get to number 2.
Just the two of us.
MLB All-Star Game tonight. By the way, you can catch the baseball's biggest stars take the field in the MLB All-Star Game on 99.9 The Fan tonight. Listen for every joke about Texas life and pitching changes starting at 7, presented by Gatorade. Paul Skeens, the starter. Teoscar Hernandez won the MLB Home Run Derby yesterday. Just to update that. There's some credit that is owed towards baseball players. They play the All-Star game like they care. And I respect that, right? Pro Bowl, even when they were still playing it, they were out there like, all right, right? They all want to be in bucket hats. Felt like that was the goal of the Pro Bowl. Everyone wanted to be on the sideline in a bucket hat. Baseball plays, like, it could very easily turn into like a Savannah Bananas thing where they're trying to catch it like around the back. They're trying to do Globetrotters stuff. It could, but they play it like it matters. And it's been a while since it decided like home field advantage in the World Series. I give the players a lot of credit for, I'm not saying like they're, breaking up double plays. I'm not saying they're legging out fly balls. But for the most part, like, pitchers want to get outs, right? Hitters want to get hits. I saw something. Oh, do you know what it was? Dennis, we were talking about it yesterday. The list ESPN's putting out of the best athletes of this century,
yes,
of the since
top
2000. You brought up, we were talking about one of the resumes, and you were reading it, and you were like, 8 All-Star, or 8 All-Defensive, 12-time All-Star. We're talking about a basketball player.
Yeah.
And at the end, you went like, MVP of the 2012 All-Star game, as if that matters.
Yeah. That was Chris Paul.
Was it Chris Paul?
MVP of the 2013 All-Star game. Cool.
As if that matters. I think it matters a little bit in baseball. I think it's ridiculous in basketball. And if you're like Pro Bowl MVP, ridiculous, other than the car that you get. When it comes to baseball, I do think it matters a little bit because pitchers want to get outs and hitters want to get hits. If you go like 3 for 4, you went 3 for 4 against some of the best pitchers in the game. I think it is what we said earlier. They just don't pitch long, right? If they get up there in like a 20s pitch count, they're done for the night. But those 20 pitches, they're throwing. Best All-Star moments pop into your brain. I'll give you a couple. Pedro Martinez striking out the side against Murderers Row. All-Star games that matter. Torrey Hunter robbing Barry Bonds of the home run, and then Barry Bonds running out into shallow right to throw him on his shoulder.
Yeah.
Ichiro inside the park home run in an All-Star game.
I forgot about that.
In an All-Star game. Talk about hustle.
I was at the 94 All-Star game in Pittsburgh where Fred McGriff had an extra innings.
Fred McGriff, the crime dog.
Yeah. Extra innings, RBI go-ahead single. Was there.
Any others that are sticking out to me?
There was no World Series that year, but I was at the All-Star game.
Oh, that's funny. That's a good little bit of trivia.
Yeah.
All right, the All-Star games tonight, that's basically the point I'm trying to make here, and you can listen to it here on 99.9 The Fan, presented by Gatorade. That's number 2. Let's get to number 1.
Go 1!
There's an article from Action Network. The SEC and the Big Ten might not want Florida State and, by proxy, Clemson. There is there's a concern, I guess, based on the reporting done by Brett McMurphy, and I encourage you all to read the article. It's really good really good reporting by McMurphy. There's a concern that Florida State especially is a problem child in the ACC. And why would you invite someone else's problem child into your conference? Right? If you're willing to sue your conference, if you're willing to accuse your conference commissioner of rigging the media rights deal to help your son who works for a media company, if you are willing to accuse and sue and use every resource you have to make the life of your conference really, really, really tough, why would the SEC want you? Why would the Big Ten want you? And matter of fact, I've said this throughout the running of it. So maybe I was actually a little bit ahead on this prognostication. But the Big Ten and the SEC don't want you to prove that grant of rights media contracts are escapable. Because the moment Florida State wins in some conference that they can leave, or that the grant of rights isn't enforceable, or that the grant of rights isn't constitutional, like whatever, the thing that is keeping the ACC together right now is the grant of rights. That's the media rights deals are mostly what hold together most conferences outside of history and tradition, which nobody cares about in college sports anymore, outside of the fans and some certain media members. But if Florida State says, like, oh, in Florida you can't enforce a grant of rights, well, guess what? The SEC is going to be real upset that you just showed the Florida Gators that they don't have to listen to anything the SEC says because you can just bounce. The only thing keeping Georgia and Alabama or Ohio State and Michigan committed to their conferences is the grant of rights. So you really think the Big Ten and the SEC are going to help you or support you or make you think that after you break your grant of rights, there's a nice landing pad for you? Heck no. I actually think this, and I said this earlier. I think, actually, I think I said this off air, so I'll say it on air so it's on the record. In a vacuum, I think both the SEC and the Big Ten would like to have Florida State and Clemson, right? If it's just, hey, there's no other ramifications, there's no other rules, there's no other situations. Yeah, why wouldn't we want two really good programs, two football national championship winners this century? Why wouldn't we? But it's not that simple, right? Because if you get Clemson and Florida State, A, the ACC's in a really tough spot, right? And do you want to see it become a Power 3? B, or do you want the Big 12 to pillage the rest of the ACC and become more of an equal? I don't know if you want to see that. Also, do you want to show that grant of rights are unenforceable or escapable or however you want to word it? Or would it be easier to just say, let's keep Florida State in the ACC, let's keep Clemson in the ACC, and let's continue to be a Power 2 with a close third? Florida State, they don't want you. You know what? Have a little self-respect. You don't need them either. You can win a national championship in the ACC. You've done it. Have a little self-confidence. You don't need to go to the Big Ten or the SEC to compete. You can stay right where you are and win. And if you want to, go get some private equity money so you have the same budget as an SEC team, which would be way more than everyone else in the ACC. Win the ACC every year. Go to the college football playoff every year. Test yourself there. Grass is always greener. Maybe not.
Nope.
I actually think it's better for Clemson and Florida State to be in the ACC. They have more of a money advantage over the rest of the ACC than they would have over anyone, and they would actually be at a deficit against teams like Texas A&M and Texas or Ohio State and Michigan. Because even outside the media rights deal, they're getting more money from other avenues.
Mm-hmm.
That was number one of the starting five here on The Drive with Tim Donnelly on 99.9 The Fan. Right now, I want to tell you about my friend Coach Pete and everyone over there at Capital Financial Advisory Group. Coach Pete has been revolutionizing the retirement planning game for decades. He knows all your favorite famous financial planners. And with use of his GPI index, something that he's been using and creating for a while now, Coach Pete can help you maximize consistent growth, protect your money from year to year, and build an income switch for you to flip on when you need to and want to. Think about the comfort you'd have just knowing that, right? I know it's a metaphor, but like, you know how you flip a switch on like a light switch? Imagine the comfort in knowing whenever you need it, you can just walk over, flip the switch, start up your retirement income. That's comforting, right? With the help of Coach Pete's financial fill-up, you will receive guaranteed income for life once you flip that switch. And even in the face of challenges like long-term care or losing a spouse, you will still receive that check. It's all about comfort, right? It's all about the comfort in knowing there's nothing to worry about. Call or text today to get your very own GPI index score and see how this valuable tool can work for you now and along your journey through retirement. Call right now, and Coach Pete will do this all at no cost if you tell him I sent you. That's 800-691-3215. You'll get the GPI index if you let him know you heard about it from Tim on 99.9 The Fan. 800-691-3215 or text Tim. You can always text just my name, Tim, to 600-700. That's Tim to 600-700. We need a couple of contestants for the numbers game. The Help from My Friends Tour, Summer 2024, is coming to Red Hat Amphitheater on July 25th. That's Switchfoot, Blue October, and Matt Nathanson. If you want to win the tickets, you got to win the game. You want to win the game, you got to call in now. To do that, the number is 919-860-5326, 919-860-5326. The numbers game. We had a 5 for 5 yesterday, so bring the heat. Numbers game coming up next.
Move your sports day forward.
This is not summer vacation. If you're out there reading as much as you possibly can about hockey and the Carolina Hurricanes and whatnot, this and the NHL, this is not summer vacation. There are teams that are having to put their cases together right now to figure out how much they can re-sign players. There are still free agents out there being re-signed.
Get set up. Join Next Up with Paul Ihander. Mornings at 9 on 99.9 The Fan, the Triangle Sports Leader.
Hungry for flavor and value? Then it's Bo time. Nothing slays the hunger beast like some of that bodacious Bojangles flavor. And there's never been a better time to satisfy your Bojangles sandwich cravings than now. With Bojangles Summer Sandwich lineup, you can choose a flavorful Cajun fried chicken filet sandwich, or a tender Cajun grilled chicken filet sandwich, or a crispy Cajun filet club sandwich, or a tasty Bo's chicken sandwich. Make it a sandwich combo and add your choice of a side. Maybe Bojangles seasoned fries, dirty rice, or Cajun pintos. And to complete the perfect meal, Bojangles legendary iced tea. There's a Bojangles sandwich combo for everyone in the family. Summer just doesn't get any better than that. What are you waiting for? You know you're hungry, and you know you want flavor and value. So, it's Bojangles Sandwich Combo time.
Doesn't the North Carolina Education Lottery Winners Club give the best massages?
I've never felt so relaxed.
Thanks to this month's scratch-offs, this is our life now.
It's like winning again and again and again.
New $80 million cash blowout and triple red sevens mean new winners. The Winners Club awaits. Must be 18 to play. Approximate overall odds winning range from 4.28 to 9.95. Problem gambling helpline 877-718-5543.
You're not going to want to miss this. Diamonds Direct summer sale starts this weekend. For 3 days only, this Friday through Sunday, get 20% off rings, earrings, pendants, bracelets, and more. Plus, book an appointment and get an additional $100 off. And designers are flying in from New York and LA to showcase their latest trends. That's 20% off, plus $100 off with an appointment and designer trunk shows. Tons of engagement rings on sale, too. 20% off starts Friday. Details at diamondsdirect.com. 3 days only and Sunday.
At University of Maryland Global Campus, we give our students credit. Credit for deciding while stuck in traffic to get a bachelor's degree. Credit for managing 3 kids, 2 dogs, and a full-time job to pursue an MBA. Students at UMGC can use prior learning or relevant experience to earn up to 90 credits toward a bachelor's. And graduate students can transfer up to 12 credits toward their master's. Apply now and save with no application fee. Flexible online and hybrid classes start August 14th. Learn more at umgc.edu. Certified to operate in Virginia by Chev.
Organize easy. Organize tough. Customize your work truck or van with upfit solutions from Van Products. Steel and aluminum shelving, toolboxes, data files, cabinets, drawers, conduit carriers, ladder racks, everything safe and secure. Everything built as unbreakable as you by Adrian Steel. Backed by the best warranty in the business. 3 years, 36,000 miles. Everything custom installed by Van Products so you know it's done right. From a single work rig to a fleet, choose custom installed upfit solutions from Van Products.
The best summer savings for golfers is now at Global Golf in Raleigh. This week only, save up to 60% on all tailor-made pre-owned golf clubs. Global Golf is home to Carolina's largest selection of pre-owned golf gear. Whether you need some new grips, professional lessons, or wanting to trade in your current clubs, swing by Global Golf at 7320 ACC Boulevard. Don't miss amazing summer sales and more at Global Golf, home to the best deals in golf.
Are you struggling to get a good night's sleep? Look no further than Parkway Sleep. For 20 years, we have been your locally owned and operated sleep center.
I'm Brandon Giggling, president of Parkway Sleep Health Centers. Did you know that people are waiting a staggering 6 to 8 months for a sleep study at other sleep labs? At Parkway, we understand the importance of your sleep needs. That's why we offer openings within weeks, not months, saving you time.
Don't let sleepless nights take over your life. Visit us today at parkwaysleep.com. Parkway Sleep Health Centers. Sound sleep, sound health.
It is time to play the numbers game here on The Drive with Tim Donnelly on 99.9 The Fan. On the line today, we have Thomas from Princeton and Mark in Raleigh. They'll be competing for tickets to see the Help From My Friends Tour, Summer 2024, with Switchfoot, Blue October, and Matt Nathanson. Coming to Red Hat Amphitheater on July 25th. Thomas in Princeton, we're going to go to you first. Obviously, this is the numbers game, but also as soon as we're done with the numbers game, we're going to be talking about some new numbers for the Carolina Hurricanes players, newcomers, and a couple switches. So I'm thinking of a number. Matter of fact, I'll write it down. And I'll show. I don't know if you can see that. No, can't really see it on the screen.
I can see it. I won't say it out loud, though.
There you go. A number between 1 and 100, and whichever one of you gets closest gets to go first. Thomas and Princeton, you get to guess.
Let's go with 20.
20. All right. Mark in Raleigh, the question is, pick a number between 1 and 100. If you are the closer, you will get to go first.
37.
The correct answer was 9. 9 was the correct answer. So Thomas and Princeton gets to go first. That's an old school way to find out who gets to go first in the numbers game.
Some people need to watch The Price is Right more often. That's all I'm going to say.
You think that there should have been a $1
should have been a 21.
Oh, you're right.
Play the odds.
If some people need to watch, that's funny. Either way, you're both going to have your chance to go first. You're both going to have your chance to go, but Thomas will get to go first. So, Thomas, are you there?
Yes, sir.
All right. The categories you have are NFL, we balled in Illinois. These are all players that played their college football somewhere in the state of Illinois. We have NFL starts with A, all players whose first names start with the letter A, NBA current players only, or NHL Canes and Whalers only.
Let's go NFL.
NFL, there's two categories. One is we balled in Illinois. The other is starts with A.
The letter A.
All right. All of these players, this is NFL starts with A. All of these players have a first name that start with A. I will give you the player and the team. Give me the jersey number as quickly as you can. There will be 30 seconds on the clock. You have one pass if you need it. Any questions before we get started?
No, sir.
All right. Your time will start when you hear the horn. Alex Smith, Kansas City Chiefs.
12.
Incorrect. Alvin Kamara, New Orleans Saints.
32.
Incorrect. Alex Smith, Kansas City Chiefs.
11.
Correct. Arian Foster, Houston Texans.
20.
Incorrect. Alvin Kamara, New Orleans Saints.
23.
Incorrect. Arian Foster, Houston Texans.
21.
You had the right number, wrong person. You said 23 for Alvin Kamara. We would have accepted 23 for Arian Foster. He wore both 27 and 23. Alex Smith, he got correct with 11. Alvin Kamara is a tough one. Not because, I think it's famous enough and there's jerseys and stuff, so some would know it. But 41 for a modern running back is a kind of strange number. But he does wear number 41, kind of a fullback number. And as we mentioned, Arian Foster was 27-23. You got one. You got Alex Smith, so you didn't get shut out. You are the leader in the clubhouse. Sit on the line, and we'll see if it holds up, okay? All right. That brings us to Mark and Raleigh. Mark, are you there?
I'm here.
All right. The categories remaining for you to choose from are NFL, we balled in Illinois, NBA current players only, or NHL Canes and Whalers only.
Let's go NHL Canes and Whalers.
All right.
Only.
The way this works, I'll give you the team and the player. Give me the jersey number as quickly as you can. 30 seconds on the clock. You have one pass if you need it. I will say the team, even though we know the teams, just to keep it fair with the other categories. Any questions before we get started?
No, sir.
All right. Your time will start when you hear the horn. Andress Svechnikov, Carolina Hurricanes.
27.
Incorrect. Brendan Lemieux, Carolina Hurricanes.
58.
Incorrect. Andress Svechnikov, Carolina Hurricanes.
37.
There you go. Mike Commodore, Carolina Hurricanes.
11.
Incorrect. Brendan Lemieux, Carolina Hurricanes.
29.
Incorrect. Mike Commodore, Carolina Hurricanes.
22.
Correct. Kevin Weeks, Carolina Hurricanes. Right under the wire. for the win. You come up with 22 from, what was it? Which one did you say 22 for?
Commodore.
For Mike Commodore.
Commodore, I had to look underneath his robe and figure it out. I couldn't remember. There you go.
Well, Brendan Lemieux, we would have accepted 22 also. He had been wearing 28, but they changed it earlier today to number 22. So 22 for either of them would have counted. You got Svetch on the second try with 37. You got Commodore with 22. That is enough for the win. You got a 2. It was an exciting win, if maybe not the most impressive. So congratulations.
That's all right. Excitement's better than impression. I like that. That's good. Thank you.
A sloppy game that goes to 4 overtimes is more memorable than a well-played game that's 27-13 or something like that.
And he's right. I should have said 21 on the number. He was very right about that. Not 37. played it hard.
You're getting
19. One of the two. Yeah, I get it.
Now you're getting a nod from our producer Dennis Cox. I will say this. When you went 27 for Svetch, you got a hand in the face from Dennis Cox. But now you've totally redeemed yourself by coming back with the Price is Right logic.
There you go.
Appreciate you for playing. Sit on the line. You'll actually talk with Dennis, and he'll get some info from you to make sure you get your prize.
All right, thanks, guys. Have fun.
Once again, the prize was the Help from My Friends tour tickets, summer 2024 with Switchfoot, Blue October, and Matt Nathanson coming to Red Hat Amphitheater on July 25th. For those of you that do want to pay attention to the numbers that are new to the Canes, because we do have that category, you might need to know. William Carrier, number 28, he's been given. Shane Gostisbehere will be wearing number 4. Tyson Jost will be wearing number 27. As we mentioned, Lemieux's new number will be 22. Eric Robinson will be wearing number 50. This is the first time in Canes history someone will be wearing number 50. Jack Roslovic will be wearing number 96. This is the first time in Canes history someone will be wearing 96. Riley Stillman, number 61. And Sean Walker, the other defenseman, number 26. Those are the brand new numbers for the Carolina Hurricanes, right? Becomes real once you get a number. So those are the new ones. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan, need to tell you about Miller Lending. Gordon Miller and everyone over at Miller Lending wants to help you understand that timing is important when it comes to getting a mortgage, but sometimes you can't choose the timing, right? You need a new house for a new job. You need to move. You need to get closer to family. You need to upsize, downsize. It's just time to get your first home, whatever it is. Can't always choose. Can't always wait for the perfect rate. That's where Gordon Miller and Miller Lending come in. They've been doing no closing cost loans for decades, which means they know all of the ins and outs and how you can use it to your advantage. If you sign up for a loan now, mortgage rate that's higher than you wanted to, but you can't always choose the timing. If rates drop in 3 months, refinance with no closing costs. If they drop in a year, refinance with no closing costs. If they drop in 3 months and then drop again in a year, refinance 2 more times. With no closing costs, you're not taking money out of your pocket. There's no reason not to. That's what they set it up for in Miller Lending, right? When timing can't be chosen, you might as well be the most efficient you possibly can be with the timing that you have to deal with. Go ahead and give them a call. They can walk you through it. 919-447-3377. That's 919-447-3377. Or you can visit them online at millerlending.com. That's millerlending.com. Miller Lending is an equal housing lender, NMLS number 250-2146. ACC Media Days will be going on at this time next week. And we have one observation about the people that will be in attendance coming up next.
The Adam Gold Show.
While I'm watching Colombia-Uruguay, not only the end of that match, but the fight in the stands after it.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Heard it got spicy.
A horrible, horrible look. But that was the most excited fans we have seen in 5 years at Bank of America Stadium. Man, look at all the happy people at Bank of America.
Just took the other kind of football.
Yeah, there you go. More of that.
The Adam Gold Show, weekdays starting at noon on 99.9 The Fan.
Picture this, the perfect summer barbecue. No stress, no responsibilities, just all your friends, burgers sizzling, hot dogs cooking, Pepsi Zero Sugar fizzing, and a backyard of very, very happy people. Oh yeah, we could get used to this. Very, very used to this. Grilling, better with Pepsi.
For a limited time, get 2 20-ounce Pepsis for only $4.25 at Refuel. So hurry in and enjoy an ice-cold Pepsi today.
Some people just know the best rate for you is a rate based on you with Allstate. And look at you, hands perfectly placed on the wheel. Not like the driver to the right of you who's really going after that drum solo. Save with DriveWise and the Allstate app and only pay a rate based on you.
Not available in every state, subject to terms and conditions. Rating factors and savings vary, and in some states your rate could increase with high-risk driving. Allstate Fire and Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
Adam Gold in studio with my man Sammy Hanna, owner-operator of the Aluminum Company of North Carolina. I tell people this all the time. If I am doing a commercial for somebody, I am vouching for who they are and what they do. You guys do great work, but your customer service stands above all the great work that you do.
Adam, I truly appreciate that testimonial. And yeah, we try to take pride in our customer service and meet and exceed our homeowners' expectations on all their home improvement needs. Obviously, there's many companies out there that do what we do. If you Google home improvements, Raleigh, you're going to get many, many companies. But you're not going to find too many companies out there that have a 4.9 rating and over 800 Google reviews and over 7,000 Guild quality reviews. It takes a lot of work on our part to make sure we meet and exceed all your expectations on customer service. And we're going to continue to do so because that's why we've been in business since 1961.
I have used the Aluminum Company. I have not heard anyone that had anything but incredible things to say about all of you, and that is amazing. That's a testimony to how you guys do it. Aluminum Company of North Carolina, aluminumcompany.com.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, did you know there's a generic form of Viagra that works just the same, but is 95% cheaper? And you can get it online? Go to hims.com/joy. Through HIMS, you'll get a free medical consultation, discreet shipping if prescribed, and the process is 100% online. To start your free online visit, go to hims.com/joy. That's HIMS.com/JOY.
Planning an engagement? Now's the time. It's Bailey's Fine Jewelry's spectacular engagement ring blowout. 3 days only. Engagement rings, loose diamonds, and wedding bands. Up to 60% off. You'll be blown away by the huge selection of diamond sizes and engagement ring styles near cost, at cost, even below cost. Bailey's engagement ring blowout. July 25th through 27th in Raleigh, Cary, Rocky Mount, and Greenville. Learn more at BaileyBox.com.
Tim Donnelly here from my friends at Zero Res. And if you're like me, you love to DIY, right? Do it yourself. Save the money. I can tell you from experience, they Zero Resified my house, and you can't get it this clean by yourself with the carpet soaking machines or anything else you can rent. Go ahead, give them a call now, 919-995-0000, and ask for the Station Special. That's the $99.9 The Fan Special. Get 3 rooms, Zero Resified, starting at just $109 and get a free hallway done on top of that.
North Carolina FC is a USL Championship soccer team competing right here in the Triangle. NCFC was founded in 2006 but continues to grow year after year, bringing fun and excitement for the whole family. I'm Victoria with 99.9 The Fan and was able to chat with some of the guys from the team, so let's meet one of the players now.
Hey there, everyone. This is Colin Martin.
What makes NCFC so special to you?
What makes NCFC to me special is that there is such a rich history. It's been a part of multiple different leagues at this point and has silverware to speak for itself last year. And yeah, I just want to be a part of something that has been in this community for a long time and try to make my own history with the club.
Do you have any kind of quirks or superstitions that you do maybe before a big game?
At the national anthem, I like to take a moment and close my eyes and think about my family and friends and think about why I'm out there and a little bit about what I want to do during the game.
Thanks, Colin. You can see for yourself these amazingly talented athletes at WakeMed Soccer Park in Cary, as well as check out all of their information and purchase tickets at NorthCarolinaFC.com.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. We start up the college football season next week from ACC Football Kickoff. Adam Gold and The Drive, that's the show, will be live in Charlotte with insight and interviews thanks to Wilkinson Chevrolet, Cadillac, Buick, GMC, and Sanford. We do know many of the players that are going to be joining us out there at ACC Kickoff. I find this absolutely fascinating. 4 teams in total, but 2 from the Triangle are bringing multiple quarterbacks to the ACC Kickoff.
That they are.
Two teams in the Triangle are ignoring one of the oldest cliches about football. If you have two quarterbacks, you have no quarterbacks, is a cliche that's been said forever. Duke is bringing both Malik Murphy and Grayson Loftus. UNC is bringing both Connor Harrell and Max Johnson. I'm fascinated by this.
To think if they also would have brought Jacoby Criswell.
Just bring them all.
Just
Why
bring
not?
the whole room.
Bring the whole room. If you throw at practice, we want you here. Like, get a GA that throws to the running backs in individual period. Bring them. Because to me, there's a very obvious answer here. If you don't have your quarterback chosen yet, don't bring a quarterback.
I wonder if it's all part of the mind games of it, though. Like, seriously, because college coaches get all into this kind of stuff. Hey, I'm going to bring both, so I know my week one opponent doesn't even know.
If you'd bring neither, they don't know.
Well, there's that too.
Right?
But you at least bring one.
Because if you bring Omari and Hampton and not a quarterback, Omari and Hampton's going to be asked about it. And guess what he gets to say?
I don't know.
Both guys trying hard. It's not my decision. Love them both. We're confident in either. Move on to the next question. Guess who can't say that? Connor Harrell and Max Johnson are going to get asked that question 1,000 different ways. And they can't say, like, oh, I've got nothing to do with it. You've got a ton to do with it.
You have everything to do with it.
You are it. Like, it's not, you don't have anything to do with it. You are it. Like, you're in the middle of it. Malik Murphy and Grayson Loftus are in such different places. One's a transfer. One was the young guy thrust into a very difficult situation last year. Connor Harrell and Max Johnson. Max Johnson, the transfer. Connor Harrell was waiting his time behind a very, very good quarterback in Drake May. It's just surprising to me. And it is kind of a dangerous game. Actually, here's the take. And I'm not saying, every coach would love to have an answer, right? They'd much rather say, no, this guy was much better in spring ball, and he put distance between himself and everybody else, and he's our quarterback. In lieu of that, you really just need to tamp down the drama, right? You need to tamp down the distraction. Coaches will drive themselves crazy trying to eliminate distractions for their players, right? They'll go blue in the face trying to, and different shades of blue for each of them, but they'll go blue in the face trying to eliminate distractions for their teams. I just don't see how bringing two quarterbacks isn't like airing out your distractions, right? That's like every once in a while you see it like a celebrity will be like, you've ever been to New York City? Like they have like Joe's Pizza. I think it's Joe's in Times Square. It's like very famous. It's a tourist thing, right? I've been there. Pizza's I think there's better pizza elsewhere in the city, but every once in a while you'll see a celebrity standing eating a slice outside Joe's Pizza in Times Square, and paparazzi will be taking their pictures, and they'll act annoyed. They'll, oh, come on, I'm just trying. You went to Times Square. You brought the drama to yourself. You bring two quarterbacks to a kickoff. You're bringing the drama to yourself. I hope, and maybe we won't after this rant, I hope we get to talk to a couple of these guys, right? I hope they're like, take them off our schedule. They were, but guess what I'm going to talk to them about? The quarterback competition, right? How often do you talk with the coaches about it? Do you think you're winning? What do they bring to the table? Like, it's going to be the whole thing. To me, this is obvious a mark of a new era where to keep a quarterback around, you have to make them feel like a star, right? Even if they're the backup, you have to make them feel like they're the face of the program, because if not, they're going to bounce. And this is not 100% new, right? As I've said on the show many times, my cousin is Mike Glennon. I remember at times when Russell Wilson was the quarterback, they'd give Mike like the last drive of the first half. He'd get to go in and have a drive. That's keeping a stud recruit who's maybe not your starter happy. So this is kind of appeasing that. Like, hey, Connor, if it is Max Johnson that's going to end up starting or vice versa, we want you to be happy even though we're not going to start you. We want you to know we value you. You're one of the faces of the program. That sounds better than you're the backup. Stay at home. And by the way, quarterbacks, college quarterbacks, notice this kind of stuff. I was a college quarterback at the University of Delaware, and guess what? If there's ever like a season ticket commercial and they show the guy you're competing with and not you, ooh boy, you get nervous. Wait a second. Did coach see this? Did he sign off on this? Did he say it's cool to have him and not me? Then you don't say that out loud. You just go like, oh, okay. You pretend you didn't notice.
I was busy.
Yeah. I remember one year they filmed the Jumbotron intro, and they didn't ask me to be in it. I was very upset. Turns out the coaches had absolutely no say in it and had nothing to do, and I ended up being the one playing. But still, I was pretty upset in that moment. So the quarterbacks notice. I think it's just about keeping them happy. This is where all the old-timers chime in and say, they used to get mad but motivated, right? If you weren't invited to ACC kickoff, you would have worked harder so you'd be invited next year. These kids today, you gotta just spoon feed them and make them stars and build their brand. By the way, the other two teams that are sending 2 quarterbacks, SMU and Cal.
So 4 schools are sending 2 QBs?
4 schools are sending 2 QBs.
Interesting.
If every other school sends QBs, and I haven't checked, there will be like a 17-team conference with 21 quarterbacks in attendance at ACC kickoff.
Let's talk to all of them.
How ridiculous is that? I want to talk to them at the same time. And I want to ask them, 3rd down, cover 2, what's your favorite play? Go! See which one answers faster. I want to make my own decisions on who gets to be the starting quarterback. Or should we put him through like a media boot camp? Like part of it is being the face of the program.
I say
you throw an interception, but it bounces off the wide receiver's hands. You lose a rivalry game. You're at the podium. Give me your answer. What happened on that game-ending interception?
I say we bring my Xbox, we hook up a TV, we put him in a 2-minute drill on College Football 25. Like, all right, guys, here we go. Run it. Run the 2-minute drill.
Do what you want. Who do you put in at quarterback in the game?
There's that.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9.
You have to play with the other QB.
There you go. Play to their strengths.
Oh, yeah.
That way you can blame them if you don't score.
It's like I can only run the ball.
He threw an interception. That's not on me. That's on him. That's next week, though, for the ACC kickoff. We're looking forward to it. Tonight, we have Overdrive coming up next, followed by the Major League Baseball All-Star Game. Enjoy it all. We're starting off Overdrive with a conversation on Florida State, and we're going to have a good time with it. We had a good time with it earlier, so enjoy that one. Overdrive coming up next. We'll see you tomorrow. Follow us on YouTube, 99.9 The Fan. See ya.
Evan, Canty, and Michelle are unsportsmanlike.
On a day after skis, did I do it right, Smalls? I'm trying to do it. No, I'm trying to do it right. You got to do it.
It wasn't that bad.
Thank you.
It wasn't that bad.
Skis? Come on, Smalls.
You didn't have to do it twice, though.
Okay.
You did it once. I let you get away with it. I said it was okay. You tried to do it twice. Moderation, Evan.
Skis?
Mornings from 6 to 9 on 99.9 The Fan, the Triangle Sports Leader.
Window Nation can help beat the heat